All right. So we are here to play a game of Daggerheart. Before I dive into the game and go through the sort of CATS procedure for the game, I would like to do introductions just so we all get a chance to know each other. And I'm going to ask that everybody gives me their favorite fantasy school. So I can kick things off. My name's Mike. I use he, him pronouns. And I think my favorite fantasy school, I was trying to think about this earlier, and although we don't get to spend a lot of time with the students, it is probably the Unseen University from Discworld.
Yep.
Uh, it's a really fun look at academia. There's at least one PBTA game about playing the academia in a fantasy school that I would be keen to try at some point.
Pig smoke.
Um, Pigsmoke, yes, I would like to give Pigsmoke a go just because it sounds like a lot of fun. Um, can I hand off, just going clockwise around my screen, to Jeremiah?
Yeah, hi, Jeremiah, he, him. I played one whole one shot of Daggerheart, and my brain is suddenly completely empty on any fictional universities or magic schools or anything. I suddenly can't. I'm going down the list of like all my favorite fantasy books, but I'm I got nothing. I might think of
That's not
something, but I got nothing right now.
it's not a problem. There's always an opportunity when people ask questions like this to just make something up on the spot. Just pretend like it's a real book series. Just say, oh no, it's not published anymore. You can't get it. But it was really fun. Do you want to hand off to somebody else? Keep it going.
Oh, um, T.
Hi, I'm T, she, her. I've dabbled around with Daggerheart a little bit. I don't think I have more than like 5 sessions in it total, so very excited to rummage a little bit more. And um I don't think I'd want to go there, but I enjoyed reading about the Scholomance from Naomi Novik series, which is fantastic if you haven't. Not, again, a delightful place to be, but very fun to read about. And I will popcorn it to Gwen.
Well, hi, I'm Gwen, she, her. The school that the the protagonist attends in Earthsea, that's cool. Where they practices learning the true names of things and stuff. That was cool. Also, if I want something with a little more sex and drama, then Breakbill's University from the Magicians books and TV show.
Nice. I think it was, is it Roke Island in Earthsea? Is that the name of the school?
Yeah, it's like Roke, the Island of Wonders or something. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
good choice. And then I think,
Popcorning, that leaves us with Vito, right?
Hi
yes,
there. Yes. Hi, I'm Vito. I use they, them pronouns. I came up with a couple of ones, but they've all been taken. I was going to start with Unseen University, and then pop over to Scholomance. So I'm out. I'm struck out. I pulled up a list of fictional schools and was trying to run down them. Like I don't know that one well enough to say anything clever about it. So I'll just acknowledge that and move on.
no worries. Yeah, I also looked at a list before this and found it to be surprisingly sparse, and I don't know if that means
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of good fantasy school stories. That doesn't seem likely, so I think there just must be a lot of very mediocre ones.
Hmm.
So we can try and tell a fun one today. So diving into the cats of what we're planning to do here, in terms of concept, Daggerheart's a fantasy RPG. Some of you have played it before, but it sits somewhere between D&D and like story gaming of Powered by the Apocalypse and Forged in the Dark. It seems to be sort of firmly planted in the middle. Um, we're going to go through rules as they come up, but the system itself is not overly complex. The core system is not overly complex. Uh, so the kind of biggest change from D&D is that instead of rolling a D20, players are rolling 2D12. Um, and yeah, we'll talk about how that works when it comes up in case anybody needs some guidance on it. The story that we plan to go through is set in the town of Hillcross, which sits at the base of a hill somewhere in a fantasy realm. And at the top of the hill, there is Madame Maloney's Adventuring Academy. It started as like a homestead and has just steadily grown as more and more students have shown up to learn from Madame Maloney. However, Madame Maloney, a lot of the students and the faculty have gone on some extraplanar field trip, and unfortunately for the four of you, having been injured just before that field trip was supposed to kick off, you missed out, and so you were stuck in the medical wing. Today is the day when everybody is supposed to come home from the extraplanar field trip, and it's the first day when you've all felt sort of comfortable being able to get out of bed and wander around, and we'll see what sort of trouble you can get into over the course of the day before everybody comes home. In terms of setting, I should say this is based off a D&D adventure that I wrote for a local high school that I ran local high school kids through, and I've just kind of ported as much of it as I could over to D&D. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll try and roll with the chaos as the players introduce strangeness into things. The town's not quite classic fantasy. It's a town that's grown up around an adventuring academy, so there's a lot of things there to support young teenagers that are attending the academy. So you can expect to find things like a bowling alley, a milk bar, a record shop, those sorts of things. If there's a business that would cater to young people, it is likely in the town. So you're less likely to find a blacksmith and more likely to find a makerspace, that sort of thing. So it's a little bit anachronistic. It's sort of a bit more 50s America without all the racism and terribleness. Um, in terms of aim, we're going to build young adventurers. So you're all first year students. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to play a teenager. If you want to play sort of a late age student that's decided to go back to school and decided that a life of adventure is for them, then you can absolutely do that. And so yeah, today the plan is that we're going to go through character creation, create some Daggerheart characters, and if there's some time at the end, we should have time to play through a scene or two of the adventure and get things set up. And then we have one more session, which is next week, and we can finish out the story. In terms of tone, aiming for kind of PG-13 level of fun. Playing teenagers with some drama if you want it, but not really wanting to go into high levels of adult themes and materials. In terms of safety, has everybody got access to the character keeper? I think I can see 4 people are on, so you can see that there. So in terms of safety, we have a layered set of safety tools, like most games in the Open Hearth. So if something happens in the game that you don't want to have happen, then you can use the X card to just kind of stop things. You can either make an X symbol with your hands if you've got your camera on, or say X, or just say anything that drives us out of the story and causes us to have a meta discussion. We'll rewind, we'll edit the scene, and then we'll move on. If there is we may have to ask clarifying questions about what is being removed, but you don't have to go into details about why. That's a personal thing. That can be because some content is difficult or challenging for you to deal with, but it can be all the way down to the other end of the spectrum. I've seen people X-card things like, hey, can we not name the NPC that because my ex-husband that's his name, and hearing his name makes me angry. So anything in the game that is making the game unfun, please feel free to X-card it out. On top of the X-card, we have lines and veils, which are tools that help us to not walk into an X-card situation. So lines are things that won't appear in the game at all. And veils are things that may come up, but they kind of happen off camera. We're not going to focus on them. There's a list there of lines and veils. Feel free to fill those out. That would be awesome if you can. If there's anything not on the list that you want to add to the list, you can. And that list is not set in stone. So if during play we realize that there's something that we need to add to the lines and veils, please stop the game and have a discussion, and we can add things in, and that's okay. Um, if you do see anybody approaching a line or a veil, feel free to sort of call that out, just to make sure that we're not heading into problematic territory. It says at the top of the safety tools section that each of us is more important than this game. Right? This is a game, then we're here to have fun. So we want to make sure that everybody's feeling safe and having a good time. And the next layer of safety tools we have is the open door. So anybody can call for a break at any time. You can step away if you need to get a drink or stretch or use the bathroom or answer the door or check the mailbox, whatever. Feel free to step away if you need to. If you're not coming back, it would be helpful if you can let us know that. But if if in an emergency, I don't expect you to reach out to people that you're playing a game with and say, "Hey, by the way, I'm rushing to the hospital because X, Y, Z." Like that's fine. Just go. Real life happens, and when it happens, just deal with it. Um, if for any reason I have to step away and I'm not back within 10 minutes, then we can consider the game to have ended. So um, I will try my best to reach out over the phone, to go through Discord or whatever, to say that I'm not coming back if that happens. I'm not expecting that to happen. It's going to get very hot. I may achieve liquid state by the end of this session, but we'll see how I go. And then the last thing is I'm kind of planning to run for about an hour and then take a 5 to 10 minute break and then repeat that process. If I'm approaching the hour and people are feeling like, hey, I would really like to have a break, feel free to call that out. Sometimes when I'm the in the weeds of running a session, I forget that I am supposed to be having a break, and I forget that I need to stretch and I need to go and get a drink. So feel free to call those out as they happen. I think that's it. That's all I have in the safety tools tab. Does anybody have any questions about the game, about the safety tools, about the tone? Any adjustments that anybody would like to make? Got a couple of chat things. Yep. Okay, that's all good.
So it
Awesome.
sounds like we're going for medium wacky, but not slapstick.
Yeah, that's where I was imagining it. Does anybody have a preference to go more slapstick or?
I think medium's good.
Alrighty. Once everybody's had a chance to go through the lines and veils, can you let me know? The other thing is there is also a romance matrix, but it looks like everybody's filled that out, so I don't need to mention it. So everybody is cool with romance all over the board, and we'll see what happens with that. So I'm not seeing new lines and veils being added. Are people? T's good. Jeremiah's good. Gwen is good. Peter is good. Okay. So we have lines around sexual abuse and transphobia, so those won't appear in the game at all. We have veils around homophobia, suicide, and torture. So those, if they do happen in the game, they'll happen off screen. And we have an ask first around sexual content. So if there's anything around sexual stuff, then we'll stop and have a discussion about it before we dive too deep into it. All right. So with that in mind, we are ready to create adventurers for this session. So there is in the folder of materials, which hopefully everybody has access to, there is a link from the character keeper to the materials. There is a sheet called additional sheets. And in there on page 2, there is a section on character creation. And it's a 9-step process, but it shouldn't take overly long, I don't think. There's some choices to be made along the way. So the first major choice that you're going to be making is to pick a class. And if you get back to the materials folder, there is an image called the class and domain wheel. And I think this will be really helpful for people that haven't played or that haven't played for a while to get a good feel for who they might want to play in the game. So a class is it comes with a handful of abilities that your character has. But those are fairly static. So every bard has the same sort of core abilities. Um, but what it does is it gives you access to two different domains. So as you at character creation and as you level up in the game, the abilities that you unlock as a character, the things that make your character unique and different from all the other characters, come from domains. And every class has access to two domains, and then every domain is accessed by two classes. So looking at the class and domain wheel can help you to kind of look at maybe which domains you're interested in. It's also really helpful to try and differentiate, well, what is the difference between a warrior and a guardian, or a wizard and a sorcerer, because those words sound very similar. So you can see on the wheel that guardian and warrior are quite close together, and they actually share a domain. They share the blade domain. But wizard and sorcerer, they're quite far apart on the domain wheel, and so they work quite differently in play. Um, so I guess in terms of trying to figure out what classes people want to play, I think it's probably a decent idea to get people to play different classes just so we see different parts of the game. So I would like to go around the circle again and get people to maybe name one or two classes that they're interested in playing, and then we'll come back to the beginning and we will go back through the list and get people to make sort of final decisions. Um, does anybody have a clear picture of what they would like to play?
I have a couple
Uh,
ideas, but
Yeah, same.
all right.
Yeah,
My mild interest in playing a seraph.
cool. Jeremiah, you said that you had thoughts as well.
Yeah, I was a little torn between sorcerer and wizard.
Okay. Gwen, do you have thoughts?
Um, they're not helpful. Um, so um, so mine are Druid, Guardian, Rogue, Sorcerer, Wizard, maybe Warrior. So that's not
Okay.
very helpful, is it? But since Sorcerer, Wizard have been named, drop those two. All right, this is what I was hoping that people would,
Mhm.
There you
you
go.
know,
Take things from
help
you.
me. Please take from me. I'm such a giver. T.
I was maybe thinking druid or bard. I've got a loose concept.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Druid Bard, we've got Seraph, we've got Sorcerer Wizard. So it sounds like we either need muscle or a roguey type. So I'm gonna go Rogue or Guardian.
Cool.
And then it's gonna depend on how probably, I don't know. I'd want to hear from Vito and T in particular about whether you were thinking, because like a druid can be pretty
Mm.
meaty, depending on how you play it. And Seraph can be too. So if those are the cases, if you all are, if yeah, if I can stand behind you, then I'll be a rogue. If
Yeah.
there's nobody that who's willing to stand in the front row, then I will be a guardian.
Yeah.
The
My
stalwart
ex
guardian is a little broken, and I like it.
Yeah, I was thinking of the playing a giant seraph of giant ancestry,
Oh, nice.
and just kind of really tanking anything and not being too
Hmm.
worried about it. Happy to dish it out too.
Awesome.
And I was imagining someone a little bit more tricky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, bards definitely could be that way. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, poop.
But buds and rogues are right next to each other on that domain wheel. So
Right? So if you go druid, I will go rogue. If you go bard, I will go druid healer type, the whatever they call it, whatever they're called, renewal or something.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be the heart healer or the tricksy one, unless um depending on what you say, Tia. Do you mind if I T if I mind? Do you mind if I base my choice on yours? I feel like I'm passing the buck here.
No, not at all.
I just can't. I'm just indecisive tonight.
Jeremiah, did you have a strong preference between wizard and sorcerer?
Since nobody else was interested in sorcerer, I'm gonna go sorcerer.
All right. And so you're saying if I went
You
bard,
just
you'd go
choose what you
druid. If
want.
I went
Yeah.
druid, you'd go rogue.
What does your
Yes.
heart say?
I mean,
Hmm.
I will say that bard and sorcerer, I think they share a domain. So if you want to
So
be
do bard
very
and a
different,
rogue.
So
so maybe you want to go druid and
the,
I'll go
the
rogue.
there is something to mention about the domains as well. I think at first levels, like at character creation, you get to pick 2 domain cards, and
Yeah.
the each domain has 3 cards available to it at character creation, so the first level.
Hmm.
So even if you share a domain with somebody, there are 3 cards there, and at maximum, the other player can only pick 2 of them. So there is the option to
Yeah.
like dip into and get something that is very different from what the other person is getting from within that domain.
Yeah, I
So it's
know.
okay. It's okay to share a domain.
That's right.
In
Yeah. I've
fact, I
also
think
played
I
a game
figured
with
out.
5 bards before. So, I mean, it can be done,
Oh my
right?
God.
Yeah. Well, we're a band, we're a touring band. So,
Nice.
Oops, all
I
bards. Nice.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm gonna go with druid then.
Okay.
okay.
Then I guess I'll
So
go rogue.
as you're making these decisions, in the character keeper, I've created a copy of the character template for everybody. Um, you can
oh,
on
I see.
your copy of the character template, you can put in your player details, so player name and pronouns. If you have a character sort of name and pronouns that you can put in, but you can put those in at any point as you go along. If you've got concept things that you want to just keep track of, there's a notes section in the top right. Um, but as you're sort of picking classes, there is a classes tab, and that has for each of the classes, it's got 3 pieces that you can kind of copy and paste into your character sheet. There is a hope feature, which goes just under the hope section on your character, which is sort of in the middle. So that's something that your character can do that you can spend hope on, and hope is one of the meta currencies available to the players in the game. Um, there is a like a class feature that you can copy onto your character sheet that goes in the bottom left. And then there are 2 foundations there. So each of the classes has kind of the equivalent of like a subclass. Sort of,
Mhm.
you could be a bard, but are you a troubadour or a wordsmith? So there are 2 different sort of bard archetypes that you can fall into. So select one of those as you go as well. There is some other stuff that I didn't have a chance to put into the character keeper, but I can look through those as we go. So what do we have? We have a seraph.
Darn it. What does everybody think? I'm having buyer's remorse already. I told you I was indecisive tonight.
Oh,
So it's either going to be Rogue, Shadow Walker, but I realize that does share
Mm.
a midnight with domain with the sorcerer. But I could also go Warrior, which is Blade and Bone, and that's neither of those are taken by any
Yeah.
domain. And I could be like a Slayer, so I'm more of a like a striker like type as opposed to the
Mhm.
tank. So maybe I'll do
Sure.
that because I've never played Warrior and I've played a Rogue once before, so that would be fun. Sorry, it's
Cool.
Warrior Slayer.
there
Final
you go.
final answer.
Oh, I see. So, like for the options under sorcerer, they both say spellcast trait instinct. That's an actual stat, right? There's a trait called instinct. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, mic, you're muted.
Thank you. Um, yeah, I was just saying that there are 6 stats in the game. The game is quite good at making sure that no one of those stats is particularly important, and that you can build a character around any of those attributes being strong or weak, and that it should be able to work just fine. I did
I
mention
don't.
before, and I might have been muted, that there's a couple of things that I didn't get a chance to put into the character keeper. So if you open the character sheets and what's it called? Character sheets and guides section of the it's a separate PDF in the play materials. And there's a few things here that are worth pulling out of your character sheet specifically. There is your evasion. So each class has a different evasion score. That's sort of your chance of getting hit. The higher the better. But each class has, under the evasion box, it has a starts at and at a number to indicate kind of how much evasion that you have. You can make choices later on that will increase or decrease that evasion score, but you can record that on the character keeper. And it also has your starting maximum hit points. So, like for the bard, it's 5. I think I was looking before. The seraph, I think, has 7.
Yeah.
So you can put that into your maximum hit points as well.
Right.
So, maybe I'm missing it. I'm sure I'm missing it. But the character keeper sheets don't seem to have a spot for class or subclass on the
No,
character keeper.
they don't. I didn't put one in because
Okay,
it
I'll
should
just-
it should be
Down at
it
the
should be-
bottom for drop and paste.
yeah, it should become obvious once you drop your subclass foundation in. So
Oh,
if you go
sure. I
to
mean, it'll be on there. It was like, well, where
Yeah.
do I put the word, warrior? Oh, I don't. Okay. I'll put my name. It'll be in my name box. Ilya the warrior.
this
Slayer.
character keeper
Okay.
did start as trying to put everything on one sheet, and it just became unwieldy. So it ended up being a separate
there's a
sheet
lot,
for each
actually.
character.
They have the cards for everything. Yeah, in the print
Yeah.
version. All right, let's see.
Thanks, T. That was there were a few. There's 2 character options that if people take them, it was going to potentially cause a requirement to put more information in the character keeper than I already had. And one was the druid, because they can change the beast form, and there's a whole list of beast forms available. So thank you for putting those in. The other one was the
Ranger.
the ranger, which has the animal companion, and I don't have anything to be able to support an animal companion in the character keeper at the moment. But I figured we could make that up as it came up. If it came up. Yeah, we'll make it.
So our seraph is going to be a giant, it sounds like.
That's the plan.
Anybody else? I'm just curious what people are, because I don't know yet either.
Thinking something small, maybe goblin.
Well, goblin druid, right? Am I right? You're playing a druid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's green, fits in, woodsy. I think it makes sense.
It's a member of the green faith, but not the one you're thinking of.
Well, they're teens. Maybe that one.
Alrighty. So it looks like Vito's just about ready to go. Jeremiah, you've got your
Got to figure all the numbers out, but working on it.
You've got your loadout started. So Gwen, you're playing the warrior, right? So I can move some stuff around for you. You can put in your hope feature, your class feature. Okay. And then you mentioned going Call of the Slayer, I think. Is that right? I can copy that in for you as well. Okay. So I think that gets everybody to step 2 of character creation, which is choosing a heritage. So your heritage is made up of 2 different parts, an ancestry and a community. So your ancestry is kind of how you were born, and your community is kind of where you were raised. There is a list of, I think it's 18 ancestries on the character keeper, and then 9 communities to go with them. The communities are fairly generic in that it kind of describes the type of community you were raised in, but it's up to you to fill in any details that you want around what that community was like. So, for instance, the first option in the list is highborn, which is about being part of sort of high society. But you can determine whether or not that's maybe you were the child of a duke, maybe you were just raised around people in high society, maybe you, I don't know, whatever. Uh, you can come up with whatever thing you want to put in there. And unfortunately, because I'm using the community version of the cards and not the one out of my physical book, we don't have illustrations for all of these things. But you can imagine that all of these cards have illustrations on them of what these things look like. And if you have questions about any of the ancestries or communities, feel free to ask. I will do my best to answer. In this case, it doesn't matter so much if we have 2 people from the same ancestry or 2 people from the same community. They kind of each have just a couple of little features that flavor the character more than kind of define them in the way that a class does. So if we have 2 giants, that's probably fine.
Much easier to double dutch.
Yeah. I kind of feel like whoever decided that the game should have 18 ancestries in it was a little cruel for the for the first edition of the game. I'm like, cut it down, have less. But it's fine.
They're so cool though.
They
I
are
was also
very cool.
thinking about a simia, but I think got one.
Uh, yeah, I'm torn between fairy and fawn right now. I just have to. We don't have either, right?
Right.
So
Well, that's my
I'll pick
knowledge.
one. You know what's going to happen is I'm just going to look in my folder and see which piece of art that I've collected over
Speaks
the
to you.
years speaks to me first.
Yes.
And I have more fairy than fawn. I have like 3 fairy and 1 fawn. So I'll let you know. Gonna go looking.
Uh, there's a fairy NPC. I don't think I have a fawn one.
Mm.
All right. Is that good or bad? I don't even know.
It, it's neither. It's a statement.
Okay.
Our just so you don't pick the same picture, the NPC fairy is wearing a Punch Feudalist shirt,
Punch
and
feudalism? Are you kidding me? That's
I am not.
amazing.
And they run the record shop in town, which is called the Waxed Wyvern.
Oh, I forgot, right. I was like, wait a minute, what? Oh, right, right. I forgot the setting for just a moment. I got confused. I was thinking, generic medieval. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, right. I'm not going to have any art of them looking like college students. Ugh.
It may be that they're one of those nerdy college students that stresses like they're an adventurer already, so they're
Yeah,
dress for the job you want kind of situation.
I know that. Yep, I hear you. Okay. Well, then maybe I'll do this one.
So it looks like we have a halfling wildborn sorcerer, a giant orderborn seraph, goblin slyborn druid.
Mm.
Nice. For those of you that have sort of picked your heritage, your ancestry and community, you can go through and assign character traits. So there's a standard array of these, but the easiest way to do it is pick one to be good at, and that's +2, and one to be bad at, and that one will be -1, and then distribute 2 zeros and 2 ones between the rest. You can see the 6 attribute scores are along the top there. Underneath, there is kind of a list of the kinds of applications where you might use them. I think they're mostly self-explanatory. The difference between agility and finesse can be a little unclear. Um, but I think that the three kind of, so agility is your sort of sprint, leap, maneuver. That's your ability to move quickly, whereas finesse is more about control. Fine motor skills rather than just quick reflexes. Another chat thing. Okay. Oh yeah, one thing that's worth noting is if you go through the foundation card that you picked for the class or the subclass, some of them have a spell cast trait, which indicates that your character has the ability to sort of cast spells. It's worth making that uh, sort of your best attribute, or at least a good attribute, or at least not your worst attribute, because you're going to use that to power some of your abilities throughout the game. And so making that your -1 can lead to situations where things don't entirely work. Which can be fun too. If you want to play a really inept college student, feel free. There's one in every group. And if you can't find them, it might be you. That's what I learned at school anyway.
I haven't picked a major yet. I'm still just taking generic classes.
Okay. I miss it, but thankfully that is long behind me.
Same.
I did my 3-year degree in 10 short years.
Yep, I know that feeling.
That's right. Yeah, it took me 6 to get a 4-year, so I hear you. I'll be a fairy. Okay. Copy, copy.
Some of the text on the cards might be a bit small. Feel free to just zoom in on your in your browser, and hopefully that makes them more readable. Was trying to pick a size that kind of worked without it going too far off the screen, and maybe went too small, but should be right. So we have a fairy, a giant, a halfling, and a goblin. Nice. I'm interested to see how these 3 smaller people came around to accepting the one giant in their group is.
Well, we all just climb on his back. And,
Clearly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Climb, how quaint. Fly, fly.
Yeah, I did not go for the flying route myself.
Oh yeah, there's one of the Seraph
The Seraph ones lets you fly.
winged sentinel, right? You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting when I picked up the Daggerheart core book for the first time. I was like, "Where's the cleric?" And it's
Mhm.
kind of the seraph. It's kind of the wizard can fulfill
Yeah.
some of that. So
Yep. Yeah.
The renewal druid.
Some
That
fun
is what I have
variants here.
taken.
There you go.
Ah, excellent.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I went more of the divine wielder route. So a little bit more on the
nice.
forceful side, but enough healing to help out as needed.
We'll see. And I mean, it's a one shot. So
Yeah.
if we get into it and somebody says, you know what, I picked this card, but it's not working for me, then we can rework it. It's fine. It's not like we're locking things in for a 2-year campaign or anything crazy.
Mhm.
I hope to never do another 2-year campaign, honestly. But um, what else do we need? Starting evasion. Everybody starts the game with 2 hope. So I'll talk about hope sort of as we go through character creation, but it's the meta currency that you get throughout the game. I mentioned earlier that unlike D&D, where the player characters roll a d20 and add their attribute sort of bonus to it, in Daggerheart you're rolling 2d12. And the 2d12 are color coded. One of them is kind of your hope die, and the other one is your fear die. And when you roll both dice, you will add up the total and then add your attribute to it, and that will give you a number. But depending on which of the 2 dice is higher will indicate kind of the tone of that outcome. So you can succeed with hope, or you can succeed with fear. So if you succeed with hope, then that's obviously a very positive experience. Things are going really well. If you succeed with fear, it means you get what you want, but maybe something bad comes out of it, or something bad is coming as a result. Um, if you succeed with hope, you will generate a hope token, and so hope will fluctuate throughout the game, and you can spend hope to be able to do different things. Each of the classes has like uh, a hope feature that is unique to their class that requires you to spend 3 hope to be able to activate it. And frequently these are quite good, and they are also things that quite often for some of the character classes, it'll be like once you activate this, it stays active until your next rest. So you can kind of work towards having enough hope to do it and then activate it, and then it will stay in play until you rest. I think the Seraph's one doesn't work like that. The Sorcerer one doesn't work like that. Okay. Uh, the Slayer
Except for
one
those of us that
does.
don't.
Yeah, the Slayer one does. The druid one lasts while you're in beast form, so you can use it to transform into beast form and go into a stronger version of beast form. So okay, only I went through the whole spiel, but only the warrior has that, uh, gaining a bonus to attack rolls until the next rest. So yeah, if you succeed with hope, that gives you hope, and I'll talk about other ways you can use hope as we go. If you succeed with fear, then I get meta currency. So my meta currency is fear, and I can spend fear to make a GM move that's not necessarily in reaction to what you're doing. So ordinarily, the game kind of is it follows a powered by the apocalypse style formula in that I'll describe the world and you'll tell me what you're doing, and maybe we call for a roll. When that roll happens, if you sort of fail the roll, then I get to act. If you succeed but with fear, then I get meta currency and I get to act. But I can also spend fear to kind of act more strongly or to interrupt what you're doing to act. So that meta currency is useful for that. The maximum hope that you can hold at any given time is 6. So as you start to approach 6, you might want to consider spending some. And the maximum fear that I can hold is 12. Everybody starts with 2 hope, which I think should just be on the character keeper from character creation. Um, Everybody needs a starting evasion. Let's see. Vito's got theirs in. Jeremiah, I'm not sure if does the sorcerer just start with 10? Yes, it
That
does.
I think
So,
that's what I saw. Yeah.
so yours is fine. Wayne's is in, yours is 12. And
Cool.
T, your starting evasion is 10, so yours is right as well. Um, so when creatures in the game try and hit you, they're trying to hit your evasion score or better. Uh, so higher evasion is better. And we can talk a little bit about how that works as we go through. But it looks like everybody has completed, at the very least, step 3 and step 4, which is starting evasion, and everybody should have 2 hope to start the game. Next up, you can choose starting equipment. So you can go about this. The easiest way to do this is to open the character sheets tab, and there is, after each character sheet, there's like a character guide for your
Yeah.
for your class, and that has a suggestion for primary weapon and secondary weapon, and suggestion for armor. It also has like an inventory section in the middle that talks about the things that you will absolutely have, and then some choices between what you have in the game. The first choice that everybody gets is a choice between a health potion or a stamina potion. So I can talk a little bit about the difference between health and stress. So health is kind of your physical um, state. So as you mark hit points, you're getting more and more damaged in the world physically, and stress is more sort of your mental exhaustion. Um, so a health potion lets you recover hit points, and a stamina potion lets you recover stress. The different classes will use stress in different ways. So some of them will ask you to mark a stress in order to be able to do something. For instance, I think the druid's beast form, right, is mark a stress to be able to transform into a
Correct,
beast.
yeah.
Um, so that might be a case where the stamina potion is more interesting to you than maybe other characters that they don't have features that have sort of stress. Um, if you run out of stress, then you can't optionally spend stress in order to be able to activate physical things. But if the game forces you to mark a stress and you don't have any left, then that just translates into hit points. So running out of stress makes you more vulnerable to damage. But the nope, can't remember where that sentence was going. We must be just about coming up to break time, as my brain is melting.
Running out of health, you take a nap. Running out of stress, you start to burn out and it goes into your health.
Yes. Running out of health does not necessarily mean that your character dies. There is a subsystem built into the game which is quite fun. If your character does hit 0 hit points, um, you get options at that point. So you can either sort of you can accept the loss of your character and move on and create a new character, kind of close out the chapter of that character's story. You can come back with some kind of scar that will I think from memory it permanently reduces your maximum hope. Um, so you can choose to do that, or you can take a gamble, which will get you a better or worse outcome on both of those. But just to let you know that, yeah, if you do run out of hit points, it's not automatic death for your character. There is a process there that keeps some player agency as to how you want your story to go for that character. Not that I'm envisaging anybody hitting 0 hit points throughout the course of this, but we'll see. Um, the game does an interesting thing that I'm not sure yet whether or not I like it, but uh, the health and stress tracks count up. So you kind of have a maximum number. If you get hit once, then you gain 1 hit point, or you mark 1 hit point. So you go from 0 to 1. So you're kind of working your way up to that maximum. So that maximum is sort of the threshold beyond which you can no longer function. It's odd. It's maybe it's an affordance thing at the table that when you're actually working with a physical character sheet, it works easier to fill in boxes than it does to kind of remove boxes. But on a character keeper, that comes out kind of odd. But just to let you know that that's there. Um, where are we up to in the thing? So I think the other thing is there's the starting equipment for every character, but in the additional sheets tab on page 5, there is a list of uh, all of the sort of starting weapons and starting armor. So if you don't like the suggestions that are given on the character sheet, you don't have to take them. You can go and have a look at other options. If you want to reflavor a weapon to say, there's something I would like to do that's not on the list, like, hey, I would really like to wield a glaive, and there is no glaive in the list. Feel free. That's totally fine. The only thing to be aware of is that your the magic weapons are only available if you have a spellcast trait.
Mm.
And I think, given that we've been going for about 55 minutes, it's probably a decent time for a break. And then we'll come back and finish our character creation. Do you want to do a 5-minute or a 10-minute break? I'm actually keen to do a 10-minute break, so I'm gonna
All
retract the
right,
question,
let's do
and we'll do a 10-minute break. It
Excellent.
is we'll make it a 9-minute break. It is 4 minutes to. We'll be back at 5 past.
Sounds good.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, everyone is back from their break. So, once you have your class, your heritage, character traits, evasion, hope, starting equipment, the next step in the list is to create your background. So there is on the character sheets PDF on the character guide section for your class. There is 3 background questions that you can go through and try and answer. Given that this is a one shot, I'm not sure how important it is to answer all 3 questions. So if you can't think of answers to any of them, that's fine. Feel free to skip it. One question I would like to add to the list, though, is your first year students at an adventuring academy. I'd like to kind of know what your favorite class is at the adventuring academy. There isn't a list of classes. It will be whatever you make up. So if there's something that you particularly want to see in the game, it would be cool to have you mention a specific thing. And if you have questions about any of this, feel free. You can drop answers in the notes section if you want to discuss them out loud. Feel free. So what do we have? We have a seraph.
Yeah, I think Kahali's favorite class is the combat arts.
Nice. Is that something that has come naturally to Cahaldi, or is it something that they've discovered about themselves since coming to the school?
Um, it has come naturally to them.
Okay.
Yep. I've got some more ideas for, why and all that jazz, but I don't need to monopolize the spotlight.
I mean, I want to know.
All right. Well, I am imagining that Kahali has been raised in a fairly isolated community of with the Orderborn, kind of like almost a religious sect. And Kahali's mother was a great warrior who died for, the faith. And they went to this school. And Cahaldi is kind of really doesn't understand much about the world beyond their cloistered community, and coming here is their way of like following in their mother's footsteps and breaking out and becoming a great hero like she was.
Awesome.
And yes, to fight for the faith. Very important.
Did your faith have a name?
Sorry,
Should come
T,
up
what
with
was the
one.
question?
Does the faith
Sorry,
have
I
a
don't know why I
name?
was whispering. Yeah, I was wondering if the faith had a name.
Um,
Uh, there is
The
a.
yeah.
I was just gonna say there is a like a church in town. Um,
Yeah, yes.
they are dedicated to yeah a god by the name of Clara. I
Hmm.
don't have a lot of details about Clara, so I'm leaving that
Great.
open
Let's make
to
it Clara and
what
we'll
happens in play.
explore that.
If you don't like the name, we can change it, but it could be convenient
Yeah.
to have another member of your faith in town.
Yeah. Um, and I think Cahaldi has been, raised in a kind of militant branch of the faith.
Okay, and then there's an associated NPC which is a Simia as the chaparral.
Great.
Anybody else looking through their options and coming up with anything specific?
You said there is not a list. We're just supposed to make something up.
Yeah,
Because what options am I looking for through?
on your character sheet, so on the sorry, in the game materials folder, there is a PDF called Character Sheets and Guides. If
Hmm.
you scroll down to, I think it's page 19 as the Warrior Guide, and there is a list of
Okay.
background questions in the middle on the left. There's three questions there. If you have answers to
No,
the
I'm
three
sorry.
questions, that's great.
Okay. I thought you meant we're asking about what class was our favorite. In which case, like, wait, there's a list? Okay, never mind.
No, there's not a list of classes. It is
Yeah.
what does adventuring mean to you? And a decent answer
Mm,
could be, I hate school. This sucks. I was sent here for some purpose, and I don't want to be here. Uh,
that is fair.
it's funny actually. The number of people when I made it to tertiary education that went straight from high school into university, and they were clearly there because it was expected of them, and they had no desire to learn anything. It's like, what?
Yeah.
This is expensive. Why are you here?
Oh, yeah. That's the most common reason in certain kinds of school. Yeah. My
Hmm.
university, a lot of my students are just like, they're first generation college students and their parents are immigrants. So
Hmm.
their parents were like, we came to this country so you could have opportunities we didn't. You better fucking believe you're going to college. And so
Hmm.
the kids are like, I don't know.
Yep.
My mom wants me to go here. Okay. I mean, there's
So,
worse reasons,
oh,
but
uh, so speaking of fantasy classes, um, I think Highland Bylands, it just goes by high. HY, favorite class is Beneficial Botanicals, which is a lab.
Mm.
And
Was that
uh,
beneficial botanicals? Is that the name of the class?
Beneficial Botanicals lab. Yeah. And I think it
Nice.
is an early morning class as well. I think it's one of those 8 a.m. ones, and uh, she's probably one of the few people who does show up regularly.
Hmm.
Um, and the first wild animal she bonded with was a raccoon. She's from a goblin slyborn community who live a lifestyle. Some would say built around poaching. She would argue built around carrying on their ancestral hunting practices.
Hmm.
But she has been sent to college as part of a diversion program from some sort of local judicial organization, and I think is enjoying it more than she thought she would.
Okay. Did the raccoon have a name?
It sure did.
And had the raccoon
Would you like to know
somehow
the name?
followed you to college? Is really the question.
Well, so the second part of that question is why did your bond end? And let me check our safety tools super quick. Um, Yeah. Is it anyone can edit this if you would like, but I think it was hit by a car.
Oh no.
And I think Kai is a dedicated sort of transit and anti-car activist because of this and refuses to learn how to drive. Absolutely will not.
What about bicycles and manual modes?
Bicycles, good. Rollerblades, fantastic. Solo wheels, knock yourself out, literally, if need be. Cars, absolutely not.
Well,
She's on the
roller
fence
rink
about
is
buses.
not a thing I had in the town, but that sounds like it might be.
It is now.
Yeah,
It's gotta be one now.
that's awesome. I was racking my brain for like, what teenage activities are there? What do the kids do these days? I'm too old for this.
When I was a
Anyone
teenager,
else?
I didn't do anything. Uh,
That's right.
my
I stayed in my
my
room and read Lord of the Rings a lot. That's what I did as a teenager.
yeah, Lord of the Rings and Super Nintendo. My
A lot of David Eddings.
favorite class that I've come up with is chaos, the creation and utilization thereof. The byline of the class is chaos is a ladder.
Chaos, the creation and utilization thereof.
I love that. Um,
And that's for Finland.
all right.
The intention behind these questions, by the way, is not only to reveal something about your characters, but it's if this was an ongoing campaign, presumably there's a bunch of teachers that are off somewhere on an extraplanar adventure that teach these classes, and yeah.
Jeremiah, does Finland go by anything else, or is it just Finland? Well, Finland, no D,
Finland.
the whole word.
I think just he would answer to Finn. Yeah.
And Gwen, did you
Yes. So, I'm answering questions here.
mhm.
So let me turn back to where they were. I've got them right here. All right. So, who taught me to fight, and why did they stay behind when you left home? Well, that would be my mother, and that's
Mhm.
because she's upholding the family business, right? She runs the family business. She's a pest exterminator. They hire her to come in and clean out all the, she's the one that they hire to clean the rats out of the basement of the tavern, or clear the warehouse of, sting bats or whatever the pest in question is. And so she sent me to college to learn the trade, the tools of the trade, and more, because she has this grand vision of me expanding, opening up maybe franchises. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's her gig, and that's why I am what I am. Someone defeated me in battle years ago and left me to die. Who was it, and how did they betray you? Yeah, well, that would be Svetlana. Svetlana was my childhood friend and maybe sometime quasi romance. But we were skipping school and went out on a dare to see who could go the furthest down into this abandoned sewer system that we were
Mhm.
told not to go into because it's dangerous. And we made a pact not to leave each other, even if we got hurt. And I got hurt, and she left,
Okay.
mostly because of cowardice, I think. I mean, it is also the fact that the boy she liked me.
Oh,
Coincidence, I'm sure. So that was Svetlana.
did did
Um,
did Svetlana come to the Adventuring Academy as well? Are they off on this
oh yes,
extraplanar
of
adventure?
course they are.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah. So we were kind of lovers, rivals, frenemies kind of vibe. And yeah. What legendary place have I always wanted to visit, and why is it so special? Um, I've always wanted to visit, I don't know, the homeland, the plane of fairy, right? From which my
Mm.
people originate, and I've never been. My great grandma always talked about it, coming from the old country.
Mhm.
And I want to go and like reconnect with my ancestry because though I am a fairy, I'm like the most assimilated fairy you'll ever see. So, whatever. I mean, my last name is Meadowlark, but whatever. I'm just a girl.
You've gone
There you go.
gone native in the prime material.
I know. It's kind of gross.
And did you have a favorite class?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. So my favorite class was actually to have a secret, which is I don't actually want to be a pest exterminator. I'm just really good at it. I actually would much, much rather be um, a chef.
Ooh.
Mm.
So I take an elective, which is like, I don't know. I mean, the culinary arts. And if you can't put these two together, I'm leading up to a future as a, dungeon meishi or something kind of
Uh-huh.
adventurer where I cook the things I slay, but
Nice. Um, so before going deeper into the background, actually, no, let's do the background stuff, and then I want to go back to armor because the armor bit is a little bit fiddly, and there's some rules explanation to go around it as well. So, um, from the questions that you've answered in your background, you need to come up with two experiences. These are kinds of these are the things that your character is particularly good at that will potentially enable you to have bonuses on rolls. So these bonuses start the game at a +2, and you need to spend a hope to apply them to a roll. So experiences can be things from your background, so things that you have done in the past. They can be characteristics, like the examples they give here are affable, intimidating, sticky fingers, survivor, those sorts of things. They can be specialties in what you do. So maybe you're an inventor, a swashbuckler, a navigator. They can be skills for your character, and they can be just flat out phrases. So evocative phrases like "catch me if you can" or "hold the line," "nature's friend," "this is not a negotiation," those sorts of things. So you need to have two of these at character creation. They both start at +2. There's a section in the character keeper for experiences. Feel free to put some kind of phrase in there. There's an interesting balancing act in that in theory you probably don't want to have like the best at everything and then try and apply that to every single role because it gets boring quickly. But also you don't want to have like something very, very specific that will never come up. So finding some balancing act between those two extremes, find something that makes your character unique from even all of the other seraphs and sorcerers and warriors and druids. Um, it makes your character you. This is one of the primary uses of hope throughout the game, is that if a roll comes up that you want to apply your experience to, you can spend one hope and you can add that +2 bonus to any roll.
Did you have any specific ideas of why or what happened as to why we were injured and left to convalesce?
Mm.
Or
The only thing that I sort of have concrete is that it was some kind of accident in class, that something happened to all of you that put you in bed. Uh, you've been out for the count for like a month. Uh,
Mm.
it so you've basically been stuck in bed for a month. It's up to you as to how concretely you want to define that and how much we just want to leave it completely open to like something weird happened to you that kept you from going on this excursion.
I had a
Um,
potential idea I was playing with just because one of my background questions is what did you do that made the people in your community wary of you? And I was like, oh, maybe a prank got out of control,
Okay,
and oops, we're all in the Academy Hospital.
nice. Yeah, I
But
was
yeah, I don't.
considering it some kind of magical accident.
I
So
mean, that make
it might be that you polymorphed everybody into frogs for the duration or something. I don't know. It's it
something
doesn't.
that felt like a harmless prank, but maybe went too far.
Hmm.
Are you like a, hardcore prankster? This is your bread and butter, or were you like, pranking seems like fun. I want to try it, and just didn't
Well,
know your own strength?
sure. Well, I am considering one of my experiences to be trickster.
Excellent.
Ooh.
So, and I do have the one of the domain cards I can take as a sorcerer is Unleash Chaos. So I feel like sometimes things just get away from me.
Seems perfect for a student at an adventuring college trying to learn how to deal with their power as maybe more powerful and less skilled at this point.
Exactly. And it might not be the first time that a prank of mine is maybe. I'm first year and I'm making bad waves.
I mean, it could also be something that we were all like into, and you were like, "Hey, you know, uh, you wanted to turn us into something cool," and we were all like, "Oh yeah, we'll help you gather ingredients and stuff." And maybe it wasn't the leaf she thought it was, sort of thing.
Hmm.
Oh, there you
Hmm.
go. That could be fun too.
Ooh, what if we wanted to turn invisible?
Oh no, we turned invisible, but then some sort of weird mishap of like also semi-incorporeal and we all kind of got stuck together.
Hmm.
Oh no! At this point, we are just thoroughly sick of each other.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, but also you're about to spend the day together, so
Well,
you can
and
be.
maybe it's finally like wearing off and we're coming out of the,
Hmm.
you know, whatever.
Oh, or it's like
Right.
anytime one of us got like 20 feet away from the other ones, we got teleported back.
Oh, like yeah, some kind of weird astral anchor kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, it is deliberately vague because it's kind of not the point.
Yeah. That was a month ago. Today we're fine and we have the school all to ourselves. So
That's
what could
right.
go wrong?
Um, I I think my character is going to be a little bit of the straight man in this comedic skit. Please feel free to play it up, and I'll play it up as well. The one who,
Excellent.
has very little instinct and is quite gullible and easy
Oh,
to say, "Oh, I know you like doing your chores in the morning. Could you help me with X, Y, and Z?" And like, yes, I'd love to help you.
Nice.
Not
Just going through
realizing what trouble they're getting into.
Peter, because you've got your experiences and I think you've just about gone through character creation entirely, but you have in your inventory one of the options at the end. You picked handful of offerings. What does that look like? Is that prayer scrolls or specific
Yeah,
rocks or
these are
what is it?
yeah, these are little kind of figurines carved out of stone
Ooh,
that you know get taken to various shrines or the like, and maybe even exchanged. There's a notion of you bring some, you leave them, you take some of them that are at the shrine to Clyra. And that way, the community feels connected by every time they go there. There's something new to give and take,
nice.
and it's part of that exchange.
Are these things that Cahaldi has carved themselves, or are these things that they've collected
Some are.
from the home temple?
They try to, as time permits, they try to, make some new ones of their own, and they may not be quality, but that's okay. That's not the point.
Hmm.
So yes, perhaps there's been some extra time over the last while, and more of them are than usual.
Awesome. That's cool. I've seen something similar, but with tarot decks. People making their own
Hmm.
tarot cards and exchanging them around the place. I haven't seen it with little figurines. That is a cool idea.
Yeah.
Um, I think not everybody has picked that option off of their character sheet. There's a at the bottom of
Yes,
the
choice.
inventory section. There is a choice between two kind
Oh,
of semi-random things that are just a cool character detail. So if you have an opportunity, I see. Uh, Highland has a small bag of rocks and bones. What is the significance of that bag?
Oh, I just like them.
Hmm.
This one's a groundhog jaw, and this one's actually a wing bone from a meadowlark, if you want it, Ilya. And this one's a snake vertebra, and this is a nice piece of quartz that I found in a river, and we do not have to go through the whole thing, but she will.
Nice. Uh, okay, so we got two experiences for Coyote, one for Finland, two for Gwen, two for Highland. So two for Ilya. So once everybody has a couple of experiences, I just want to go back up to the armor section just to talk about how that works and how to fill in a character sheet for that. Okay. Are people cool for me to do that now? Oh, Finland has a
Yep.
whispering orb. What is it? Where
Hmm.
did that come from?
It came from my character sheet. It was one of the options. Um, I like to think that it's something that maybe even before I came here and I was and my powers were manifesting with whatever connection I have as a sorcerer, especially with a
Mhm.
primal origin. I think it,
Hmm.
it accidentally got created somehow. But I'm also imagining a sort of like weird Magic 8 Ball kind of situation of like
Mhm.
I ask questions and it probably gives me a lot of nonsensical answers that aren't really actionable.
I I wonder if it whisper for anyone before Finland got it, or is this a
Hmm.
manifestation of Finland's powers that has somehow enchanted this orb so that now it whispers?
uh, like maybe it accidentally came to me from somewhere else. I don't think Finland knows, but I like the idea that it found its way to me somehow. That
Okay,
it's something that has had previous owners,
and
and
will it
surely none
whisper
of
for
those
any
owners are in the orb.
and will it whisper for anyone other than Finland?
Uh, Only if I'm holding it.
Okay, okay. I was just wondering if what the other
Yeah, so I can
students
let
think
people
of
talk to
Finland's
it.
orb, if they just think he's a weirdo that talks to a rock, or if this is
I
if
mean,
they've heard it
probably
whisper before. Hmm. Okay,
it's fine. Highland likes rocks, so
that is true.
Sure. Listen to
I,
your orb, you say. Uh-huh.
exactly.
Perfect.
Pull the other one. It's got bells on.
Oh, is
Okay.
that how you talk to your god? That's wonderful. I wish mine whispered to me.
Amazing.
Nice. Uh, so I just wanted to circle back around to armor and the way that this works. So, um, your armor has a few different numbers associated with it. The first ones that are interesting are the base thresholds. So there is a place in the damage and health section of your character sheet for you to record thresholds. There's one between minor and major, and one between major and severe. So what you want to do is take the first of those numbers and add one to it and stick it in between minor and major, and then do the same for the other threshold and put it between. Um, the way this works is if somebody tries to hit you, first they're gonna make just a regular roll to try and hit your evasion. If they manage to get your evasion or above, then they're going to roll damage, and the amount of damage that they do is going to be based on those thresholds. So if somebody manages to get below both of the thresholds, then that's like it's a minor wound. So that'll just mark off a single hit point. If they get between the thresholds, then it's a major wound, and that's 2 hit points. And if they get above your higher threshold, then it's a severe wound, and that's 3 hit points. Bear in mind, you've got 6 hit points, so a severe wound is like half of your life in a single hit. So uh,
Well, for
it's
some of you.
right. Yes, that is true. I think our Seraph has 7 hit points, so
Actually,
even
8 because of Giant.
8. Nice. So even two major wounds won't. Even two, sorry, severe wounds won't take down our giant character. But that's a thing to be aware of. The other number that is interesting is the base score. You can copy that directly into the maximum section of your armor. So anytime when you're hit, you can spend a point of your armor to reduce the severity. So if you get a severe hit and you spend a point of armor, you can drop it down to major. Or if you get a major hit, you can spend a point of armor and drop it down to minor. And if you spend armor on a minor hit, it just goes away. So then that's no damage at all. So that's something to be aware of. And then some of the armor has some kind of change to evasion. So I'm looking at Ilya's character sheet. That will reduce that increases your evasion by 1. So you get more difficult to hit because you're wearing armor that lets you move faster. So that's a thing to be aware of. When you rest, you have access to a bunch of activities. You can recover health, you can recover stress, and you can repair your armor. So those are sort of 3 of the major things that you tend to be doing when you have downtime in the game. So 3 different ways in which uh, your life can become more difficult, and the way in which you can recover those things is through having a short rest or a long rest. Uh, Given that this is taking place over the course of a day and you've spent a month in bed, unless things go very dire, chances of a long rest seem low. But it should be fine. Yeah, so if you fill in the the armor details into the armor section and the damage and health section of the character sheet, that would be good. And if you have any difficulties with doing that, let me know and I can help out. Let me find the
And
character.
what was the armor score? Did I miss that? Where it has a base score? Is that the number of times
Yeah.
you can use your armor or something?
Yes, so you can put that in the armor section on the left. There's a current and max, so you can
Yeah. Okay.
set them both to that base score, unless you have some feature that changes it. That's kind of how often you can use the armor in between short rests or in between repairs. Okay, I think that's mostly good. And if there's any uh, challenges with it as we go, we can update things. Oh, Nelia has a drawing of Svetlana. Given your experience, why have you kept that drawing, Ilya? Is that are you
Oh, I
still
mean, it's
pot-
just, you know,
potentially holding a torch
it,
for them, or is it just
I would never admit that. No, of course not. As far as you know, publicly.
okay?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, obviously. Yeah, so she is pining for an ex that treated her poorly.
Hmm.
Oh, toxic, toxic people. What are you gonna do?
Jeremiah, would you feel like I was stepping on your toes if I also took wall walk?
No,
Ah,
I don't think I realized
Uh,
anybody else could take shadows.
Arcane, I think, is the purple one.
Oh, is that a
Is that
card? Oh,
right?
that is arcane. Yeah, that is arcane.
I'm
you can
scrambling
see
along.
on your foundation card where it's got your class name. There's two colors behind that, and so your card
Yeah.
should match those two colors. So yeah, just to move on to step eight of nine. So we're getting there. The step eight is choosing domain deck cards. So each class has access to two different domains, and there is a domains section on the character keeper that has the three cards that are available for each domain. So out of those, you need two total cards, and you can pick from either domain, and you can mix and match if you want. So
Oh,
you
you
should
only
have,
get two.
yeah, so you should have two domain cards to begin with.
In that case, I will not have Warlock.
Hmm.
So no
Okay.
I also had one too many.
problem.
Get rid of
Yeah, for some reason I
that.
thought we could have. I don't know why. I don't know where I got
Yeah,
two.
The
it
wizard can pick up a third one, I think, out of the
yes,
gate.
yeah. So I put the space in just in case somebody took that option.
Oh, okay. That I see.
Um, the you don't need to worry about the little number in the black circle with the lightning bolt in the top right. Um, that is once you get high enough level, and I think it's fifth level, you have more cards than you can have with you in a single kind of outing. And then you have to choose when you go on an adventure which ones you're bringing in, and then when you long rest, you can swap them out. And then there's this uh, the number in the top right is a recovery cost, so you can in between rests swap things in and out. None of that's important because you don't have enough cards to make that an issue at the moment. So you have access to everything in your loadout at the moment. So we've got Cahaldi looks good to go. Fandon looks good to go. Helia looks good to go. Hana looks good to go. So I think we are ready to move on to create connections. So again, this isn't in the character keeper, but if you look at the character sheets and guides and go to the character guide page for your class, on the middle right hand side there is a list of connection questions, and there's three of them, and you can pick one of them to ask of another player. Actually, before we do that, we should probably go around and introduce everybody's players to each other. We've been discussing them as we go, but taking a moment just to ground everybody in who everyone is and kind of what their deal is, before asking connection questions is probably a good idea. Yeah. Can we go in character keeper order, which is Cahaldi, Fenlon, Elia, and then Highland? So Cahaldi.
Sure. So Kahaldi is uh, a seraph, of giant ancestry and a very sheltered, order-born community. What else are we looking for here? Just trying to uh, short summary beyond that. Um, I'm not sure what we're looking for. Or just that it?
Um, I think they will probably do. I guess.
Sure. I'll add a little more flavor, apart from
Okay.
the bits. So Cahaldi is feels despite their size, their height, they feel very young and sheltered and not very knowledgeable about things, gullible even. They always follow the rules and are happy to help anyone who asks. Please feel free to take advantage of it.
Okay. Next up on our list, we have Finland.
Yeah, so Finland is yeah, a halfling wildborn, so grew up deep in the forest. I feel like there's probably maybe not a lot of, I don't think wildborn are super common at the academy, but I think maybe the council or my parents were like, let's maybe let's send Finland out into the world for a little bit. Finland's definitely known as a bit of a trickster and gets into trouble probably pretty regularly. Um,
It looks like maybe a bit of
Definitely,
a risk taker, given that you just added the YOLO experience to the.
yeah. I was gonna mention that. I'm happy to rename it if people aren't vibing with it, but that's the yeah. Like a adrenaline junkie kind of daredevil. Um, and then also sometimes gets into places he's probably not supposed to be, since I took the pick and pull card from the shadow domain.
Nice. On to Ilya.
Hi, okay. Ilya. I am Ilya Meadowlark, she, her, warrior slayer. As I said before, my mom's a exterminator, and I'm sent from my underborn community uh, to go to attend the university. And I also have a piece of character art I've now added to my keeper. I looked and looked and looked and looked. It's hard to find character art of fantasy creatures that
Hmm.
is not in medieval armor, or in a fairy case, like nearly naked,
Yes.
wearing like diaphanous Tinkerbell look.
Hmm.
So she's a student. Look at that. And that's from some comic that I'm gonna have to go look up now.
That looks
Um,
cool.
I know, right? So that's her. Is my sister anything else back now? She absolutely is not pining for the girl that dumped her and treated her like crap.
Okay.
No, she wouldn't do that. She has more dignity.
You you mentioned before having a secret love of cooking. Is that known to the other to the students that you've been unwell with, do you think? Have you made them a meal
Yeah.
and they've been pleasantly surprised or
Yeah, I think that it was one of those like, I guess we should get something to eat. And then she's like, I'll handle it. And she does like people are expecting boxed mac and cheese and they got like a 4-course meal, like
nice?
like homemade. And they're like, what? Oh, nothing. It's something I do on the side. Don't worry about
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
But no, my parents don't know. My mom would flip her lid.
Are you doing all that with like legit equipment, or are you doing like the college experience of like improvising everything you can in your room with like hot
I
plates and
mean, she's improvising because her parents didn't buy her like she doesn't have like, you know, an all-clad pot set or something in her kitchen.
right?
So no,
Nice.
she might have like one or two like favorite things she got at a thrift store. But yeah, chopping onions with a butter knife. Been there, done that. All right. Yeah, she is not. Yes, she has a hot plate. She cooks everything on a hot plate on a desk next to her bed. It's like this is totally a fire hazard. Let's do it.
Nice.
It's a magical fantasy realm, so it can even be a magical hot plate if you like. It could be an enchanted hot plate.
Ooh, no plug.
And Highland.
Yeah, Highland, she, it, they're not picky. Is little bit of a wild child. I think she and Finland should not have had, orientation together, but they did. Now everyone's paying for it. Um, definitely trustworthy. Would never do anything wrong. I don't know where you got that impression. Um, uh, uh, you know, has a bag that's always full of, rocks and bones and little bits of leaves. And I don't think she's quite as good at foraging as they think they are.
Nice. Okay, so back around to let's just keep going in character keeper order. Back around to Kahaldi. Do you want to ask one of your connection questions of one of the other PCs, or open it to the table and see who wants to answer it, or however we want to do it?
Um, Yeah. Let's see. What's an interesting one here? If any, hmm.
And if you don't like any of those questions and you just want to think of another question, feel free.
Sure. I'd like to open it to the table on this one. Uh, one of you told me to protect one of the others of you at all costs, even over myself. Who and why? It could be a joke, it could be serious. I'm open to whatever. But this is the person my character, walks around following and makes sure they don't even stub their toe a little bit. Nothing
Anyone?
jumping there.
I
Any,
could see Hi doing
Hmm.
that to Finland. Uh, perhaps they caught Finland rummaging through a chest that she's very sure she locked at some point, and in uh, uh, you know, what's what I'm looking for? Revenge, I guess. Thinks that maybe someone should keep an eye on you. And, you gotta keep Finland safe. I mean, uh, those chaos folks. You could be a wild bear around the corner any moment. You gotta just keep an eye on them. Can you do that
Never know
for
what
me?
he's never know what he's gonna get
I
into.
can do that. Yeah. I'll make sure nothing bad happens to Finland.
Thank you, Caldy. I
Good
appreciate it.
luck. It's a tall order.
Much easier to know where Finland is now that there's a giant following him around.
you can always find him in a crowd.
Oh no.
Finland, do you have a question for the table?
Oh. Um.
Gee, you're the sorcerer,
Yeah. Uh.
right?
I mean, they're all fun. What? Let's see. I think somebody's gonna be. Why is what did I do that makes Ilya so cautious around me?
Hmm.
How about do you think that he would be a blabbermouth, like not trusted with a secret, or is he more like not trusted with a valuable?
Probably more the latter.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think I mean, I don't want to not the same as what T was talking about, but maybe how about this? Instead of catching you stealing something, I expressed a desire to, if only I could get my hands on some saffron or something like hard to get or expensive. And
Yeah,
then like you turned up like
all
an
of a sudden
hour
I had
later. Yeah, and you're like, oh, I've got this. And you're like, and I
it.
look at him like, oh, this is amazing. And then later as I'm preparing it, I look and like the label is like property of at school or something. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah, it's very clear. Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
Nice. Next in the character keeper is Ilya. So your
Okay.
questions are
Well,
on
let's see.
page 19.
Yep, yep. So, do. These are my warrior questions for background or connections, I mean. We knew each other, so I'm supposed to choose one or make one. Ooh,
Yeah, if you don't like any of those questions, feel free to ask a different one if something springs to mind. If you can't think of anything and you don't like any of those questions, that's fine. We can kind of do another round and see how things shake out.
How about this? Which of you might I have bonded with on like drop off day when our parents were overbearing?
Um, I'm happy to raise my hand here and have Kahaldi have seen this and said, "Oh, I wish my mom was here."
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
That got let me change my name because I it. That got Ilya in the field. She's like, oh, I guess I should stop complaining so much about my mom. Ugh, fine. Yes,
Uh,
perfect. Okay. And then that was a better question than these. Let's see.
it's all right.
Um,
We're gonna do one round of one question each, and then come back around. So you can think
yeah,
about
I
the
like
next
that one. Let's go
question
with that.
as
Mhm.
we go. Um, and then for our druid Highland, where are your questions? They're
Ah,
there.
someone has confided something in me. To me? No, it says in me. Someone has confided something to me that makes me leap into danger for you every time. Drop of a hat.
I mean, maybe Ilya knows how to make your favorite dish,
Whoa.
and you want me to
Ooh.
live so you can eat it. I don't know what are you food motivated? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. Um,
Come up with a different one. You're like, nah.
no,
If
I'm just
you
thinking about. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to suggest one way to kind of twist that is that Ilya knows how to make your favorite dish, but is currently lacking the ingredients. So it's a future meal that you're very much looking forward to,
Mm.
if that appeals.
Oh, maybe. Okay, let's take it up a notch. I think this isn't just a meal. This is like uh a ceremonial coming of age thing that it was supposed to do, at home with their family, but they got arrested. So in order to, be an adult goblin, gotta have Toadstool Surprise, doesn't know
Right?
how to
It's a
make it, and Ilya has the cookbook.
I know how to make it. Yeah, it's a classic quinceañera for a goblin, a
Hmm, hmm.
goblin person. So I will promise to make it for it.
All right.
Nice, cool. We've been going for about an hour. We've got two more rounds of questions. I would like to take a break. So can we come back again at 5 past?
Sounds good.
Goblin Senora, perfect. All right, I'll see you in whatever it is, 8 minutes. So we're back. We're in the final phases of character development, creating connections between all the characters, and back around to Kahaldi. What is your
Okay.
next question?
Um, Finland. This one is for Finland, specifically. And I'm going to give you two choices because they have the two questions, and I'm happy with either.
Okay.
One is, what promise did you make me agree to should you die on the battlefield or even in the classroom? Like when all of this was happening to us, we all got tossed together. I think that that's a fun prompt. But if that one doesn't jump at you, I can instead ask, why do you ask me so many questions about my God?
Interesting. So this might help narrow it down because my second question that I was gonna aim
Mm-hmm.
at Cahaldi
Mm-hmm.
was gonna be why do we keep our shared past a secret?
Ah, oh
So
my.
I
Excellent.
because I like the idea that Highland and
Yeah.
Finland like hit it off like during orientation. So I was like, well, that leaves Cahaldi that we've got some sort of weird shared history.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that leads. I like that better leading into like a promise kind of a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe figuring out
Yeah.
what kind of shared history we might have had. I mean, I have no idea about that, but
Sure.
I think
Well,
it
look,
sounds fun.
we can go with it.
Yeah.
Um, an easy route here
Hmm.
is we had to get here, right? Maybe we shared travels en route to this place together, and there were some things that happened that neither of us is interested in talking about with anyone else. Um,
I like the idea that it goes back farther
okay,
in some
great.
way. Like I don't know what the connection might be between
Sure.
a forest land
Yeah.
halfling and a
Uh,
giant.
families are always interesting.
Yeah.
Some sort of
Or
family.
family or maybe I don't know, could there have been like older born missionaries or
Hmm.
something or some kind
Sure.
of like I don't know, something more like on a cultural level, like maybe our peoples had dealings or something.
Hmm.
But then why do we keep it a secret?
Yeah. Oh.
I really have nothing, but I just like it.
I do too.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe the halfling clans used to belong to the church, and there was some sort of schism. And if
Hmm.
your families knew that you were hanging out together, they'd be upset about it. I don't know. I think it's how permissive your religion is. Cahaldi is a pretty important character decision, so I don't want to push you on
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah.
no.
Just spitballing.
And something like that could be the reason why you ask so many questions about it. Like, why my family, whenever, that God comes up, everyone's like silence.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Clara
maybe
seems
there's like
okay.
a
Yeah.
Why are my parents so angry about it?
Hmm.
yeah, I like this maybe, yeah, but maybe there was some schism in that either my family or the
Hmm.
halfling community I came from followed some
Hmm.
religion that was more about like I don't know, some not quite antithesis to Calira, but like maybe
Hmm.
something about peace or something like
Hmm.
that. And
Hmm.
then uh maybe we just don't maybe we don't talk about it because it's such a sensitive uh tough subject. Kind of like
Yeah.
if we just don't talk about religion around each other, then we're not going to get into an argument about it.
Here's one. Here. Let me offer this as an additional bit. Uh, so, Cahaldi in many ways reveres their mother. And many years ago, um, Cahaldi's mother was sworn to protect the tribe, um, and failed, and someone important died. And this led to a schism between, kind of they failed. They are oath breakers who couldn't keep
Yeah,
their word and do
right.
not ever trust them.
I like that.
And
Yeah, especially if because it's probably one of those things that like your mom probably never didn't actually do anything wrong. Like it was just failure out of her hands, but
mhm.
that's not
But it is the
how.
one thing that Cahaldi has also heard, yeah, your mother screwed this up. And Cahaldi is deeply uncomfortable with this after like worshiping their, dead parent who did great things. And acknowledging that is they might have been, mortal and fallible too.
In that case, the promise that I've made you make
Yeah.
is that um you have to I don't want to say atone, but
Mm.
like something like you would have to like I don't know, like present yourself, like bring me back to my family, like knowing that that's not gonna go well or something like
Yeah.
that, or like
It
Yeah.
could be
or
as
go to my
simple
people with apologies.
as protect my family if I die.
Especially since I'm also, sworn to protect you.
Oh, even better. Yeah, yeah. If something happens to me, you have to look after my family.
Okay. Awesome.
So that was two questions between the two of us. So that worked.
Yeah,
Perfect.
does that sufficiently cover your second question, Jeremiah, do you think?
Yeah, for the shared history. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, cool. So back around to Ilya for your second question.
So, one of the questions on here is, what mundane task do you usually help me with off the battlefield? And I was wondering, like, who would like to be my like sous chef?
I mean, the funniest answer is the giant. Just trying to.
I mean, it kind of is.
Like this?
Yeah,
Chunk.
and I'm like buzzing around this little, boop, boop, around you. Like, no, no, don't like this. Don't you? Right?
Is
Yeah,
this small enough? And it's this big chunk the size of my
yeah.
bed.
And I'm like, oh, can you make this smaller?
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yes,
really small knife.
yeah.
Can't really pick it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to ask, does Cahaldi bring their own implements to the kitchen, or are they just using Ilya's tiny?
You're like, pink, pink, pink. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, like I said, okay, now I'm reading the recipe and I'm like, all right, pinch of salt. And I look up, no, 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 that was way too much salt.
A fairy
Berry
pinch,
pinch,
not a giant.
berry
Yeah,
pinch.
fairy pinch. Yeah, yeah. So that's fun. Let's do that.
awesome.
Nice. Uh, yeah, there's a fun size difference dynamic there. Highland.
Uh, someone. Mm, well, the question is, what animal do you say you remind me of? But I think that that is a little shallow. Uh, someone helped me rescue a skunk. Who was it? And how long did it take for the scent to wear off?
I mean, that does seem like something that would be in my bailiwick, I'd be like, oh, you've got to, I've had to catch and release bloodworms and, stink beetles and, I'm listing off all these like pests. And I'd actually never worked with skunks. They don't appear in the underborn communities very often. And so I didn't quite realize you really do have to aim the business end, you know, away.
Yeah, and I think I was very aware of that and maybe did not provide you all the relevant information.
Like, didn't you know?
uh, sending you into the drain pipe first.
Yeah, the
Never,
scent glands are right there. Like, oh, is that what that is? Mm,
never
Ah,
forget your
really?
first skunk.
yeah. Mm.
Who, me? I'd never lie about an animal. Just gonna, you know what? You might wanna get some more tomato soup, just to have. No.
I'm gonna smell this in my sleep forever.
Just going to do a quick check. There are no skunks in Australia. Uh, I've never come across a skunk. So,
They're extremely cute and extremely fearless.
mhm. Yeah, I have a
Pungent.
friend with dogs, and he has told me on multiple occasions that his dogs are very excited about the skunk that wants to live under his house, and it's always a bad time. Okay, so back around to Kahati. Final question.
Final question. All right. Well, if we did if we went along with the promise, then I have to ask someone else. Hmm, hmm. I think, Ilya, why do you ask me so many questions about my God?
Ah, you're
You're
unmuted.
muted.
I realize that's right. My community is atheist secular community. We don't
Mm.
do any of that. So it's just so puzzling to me, right? It's like, wait a minute, what? I mean, sure, there's magic, but that's just like a part of the natural world. What's the big deal? But like a guy in the sky? Is that how this works? You have like Sky Daddy? This is weird. Explain this to me. Is it like a sugar daddy, but like you never see him? That sounds pretty cool. Hmm.
No, he speaks to me and works through me, and I've seen the miracles.
Okay, and that's so it's like you talk to your invisible friend and that lets you do magic?
It's more than that. It's not like an
Okay.
invisible friend. They're a force of the world. You understand, like there are things larger than us, right?
Yeah, like you are much larger than me, for example. Does that mean that there's like a giant's giant somewhere that you pray to? Like a super
Uh,
giant, if you will?
uh,
Where is this
I,
guy? Like, is he just a ghost? Like he's invisible, we can't see
He
him?
could be here, or they could be here.
Okay.
They are generally elsewhere, but they hear the prayers of their faithful wherever they are.
So they have super hearing and they are a ghost. And you never know if they're here or there. So they kind of are creepy, super hearing ghost that does favors for you when you pray. But it's nice. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad. Yeah.
I like the
Just with this.
for Cahaldi, having grown up in an Audubon community, and
Hmm.
is this the first person that you've heard express doubts, questions? Like,
At
are
least
these
in this
questions that
way,
you're
yeah.
uncomfortable
Uh,
with? Because these are just
like,
facts. Why do we need to even answer these?
yeah, it's a little bit of just kind of puzzlement and then kind of reiterating the same thing over again, and maybe
And
with a
that's why I
slight
keep,
variation. And we just
yeah,
keep circling around it without any
that's
like
why I keep
real
asking.
understanding back and forth.
I'm like, no, wait, let me try this again. So I can't see him, but he's there. And he
I
hears me,
mean,
but
if
I don't
he
hear him.
he could speak to you if you wanted, or if he wanted.
Okay. Hey.
All
I
right.
could teach you some of the
Oh,
prayers. We can do it
no,
over chores
that's
in the morning. Let's wake up when when the sun rises tomorrow, and we'll go through the chores together and the prayers that go with them.
um, hmm. Let me get back to you on that. I
Okay.
have studying. I'll find studying I have to do.
Back around to Finland. What is your final question?
Oh, why does Highland trust me so deeply?
Oh,
Mm.
Yeah. I think you really remind it of its older brother. And I think like I have no idea what our relative ages are. But yeah, I think you met and I don't know if this was mutual or not, but Highland just immediately fell into that sibling relationship, sort of teasing, pranking, and I think like the first time she really fucked up at school, what would that have been? Um, I think she was climbing out the window to go do something after hours that she should not have been doing and fell and like sprained her ankle and sort of like hobbled over to you and was
Oh,
like, listen, you cannot tell anybody what happened, but I do need to get to the nurse. Can we make something up? Um,
I'll just go steal a home like a healing potion for you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think Uh, yeah, I think they're ride or die. And also, I don't think you've betrayed them after the the trunk incident. And like a
I was just
question
being
mark whether or not that
curious.
was a betrayal, right? I get the sense that was more a little bit of a sort of ongoing prank war. Um, yeah, yeah.
yeah, there are things you can betray and things that you don't, and Finland seems to understand the difference.
Sure.
No.
Yeah, if I'd had place for like a third experience, I was gonna make like a friends are everything sort of like once you're a friend, you're kind of like in for life. So yeah, that
Hmm.
totally fits.
Nice. On to Ilya's final question.
All right. So third question. Let's go with let's go something more general. I will take one out of the book this time. What fear am I helping you overcome? Who wants to overcome a fear? I have quite a few connections with Kahaldi already. I have one with Finland because of the stolen herb, and I have one with Hi because I uh we got sprayed with skunks together. Thanks.
And you also know the
So is there
recipe for Toadstool Surprise, so you've got
that's
two with
true.
high currently.
Okay. Well, I mean, what do you think, Finn? What should we have on?
I'm okay with that, especially because I didn't ever bother answering it because I couldn't think of an answer. But one of my potential background questions was that I have a deep fear that I hide from everyone. So
Oh,
it yeah, I couldn't think of anything I like, so I was like, I'm just not going to answer it.
okay.
But
Uh,
I do like that. I don't know what that fear might be. I really don't
Hmm.
have any ideas.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, getting caught or failing flunking out of school or I don't know. Uh, hmm. How about a different one? What class am I helping you from failing?
Oh, oh,
Hmm.
um, maybe some kind of like potions or alchemy or something along those lines.
It's like a
Is it?
cooking ask. So I was going to recommend either cooking ask or like zoology or something since I like know about pests and creatures. Not, I mean, not like Highwood, I'm sure.
Sure,
They would know, or she would know rather. Um, Animals way better, but
gotcha.
insects, yeah. Let's do that. So we can do potions or alchemy. Let's do alchemy.
Yeah, I
That's
like that
fun.
because I can't imagine Finland would even bother taking a cooking class.
Yeah,
but
fair.
I like to imagine that there's like some required courses and like I don't have the patience for mixing specific things together.
Gotcha. Helping Finn pass alchemy.
I like it.
Yeah, it's it's molecular alchemy. It's very difficult to pass.
Is this related to the incident where Finland got the Highlander healing potion quietly? Do you think?
Possibly. Or
Uh,
or it's related to the prank gone wrong. Maybe we're all in the potions class together. That's the one class
Yeah.
we have together.
uh-huh. And then finally, last one for Highland.
Yeah. The question is, what affectionate nickname have you given me? Um, and I'm just gonna say off the bat, I don't think Kai likes it. And I don't think I have a lot of ties with Cahaldi. So yeah,
Mhm.
Cahaldi, what do you, maybe it's not a nickname, but what do you call High that absolutely gets its goat?
Ooh, okay. Um, let's see. What's um hmm. Um, I think I want to go. I want to do something like something that was meant to be a joke about how much you like leaves and stuff like this, and instead was something about you being green, that felt a little bit more a dig at your ancestry and heritage. Maybe
Maybe like Little
maybe
Sprout.
little sprout. Sure, little sprout.
I could totally see it. Like you've got like a green thumb, or I mean, you're like it's like you got a green everything.
Yeah.
But maybe it's Little Sprout, but in giantish. So it's
Mm.
I don't know, it sounds more, I don't know what giantish sounds like. Echoing.
Hmm. Yeah. Ortho thrill.
Mm. One day I'm gonna figure out what that means. And what I do? Ooh.
You We'll take
Uh,
language classes, I'm sure, and I'll
Maybe this
help
might
you
be the
with it,
case of
Orto.
you don't like it at the moment, but once you find out what it means, maybe you will.
Mm.
Actually,
Uh,
I do have a random question about that, which is Cahaldi seems like the kind of person that if you ask them what they meant, they would tell you.
Absolutely.
So why hasn't Highland asked?
Uh, actually, I'm gonna X card the thing
Sure.
about finding out what it meant. I think what Highland is hearing is octo pill, and they don't know what it means, but they're never going to admit that. And every so often, you'll like catch them, flipping through a giantish dictionary, in the library, and like turn and see you coming, sort of kick it behind them. Yeah, I think Hi's got a side quest to figure out what the hell his nickname is.
What is this? What is this octopill? Okay, that works for you.
Uh,
Uh,
Hang on a second.
Because I did give them a -1 in knowledge, and
yeah.
I think they feel. I mean, you mentioned Caldy feels very young. I think they feel very
Mm,
ignorant because
mm,
this may be the first formal schooling it's ever had.
mm.
Um, yeah, I think maybe the reason the foraging is bad is because, they've got a thick sheaf of notes, and boy, those are written words. Yep.
Nice. I Okay, I think that's it. I think anybody have any questions? Anything about their character that they, after going through that exercise, they want to change? Anything that people are unhappy with? My entire family is sort of hovering around. They're in the process of leaving the house. So
So it works.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I was a little distracted the first half of the session because I have all right when I sit down, turn on the video, I had two teenagers come into the room and say, "I'm hungry," and I'm like,
uh-huh.
"You're a grown
Well,
up. You're nearly grown. Go figure it out, kid. There's Thanksgiving leftovers." Anyway,
Yeah,
apologies.
my no, that's all right. Mine are in their early 20s. So now when they say what's for dinner, I say, I don't know. What are you going to make? So
yeah.
what do you need ingredients for? Okay, so we are ready to kick things off. So the let me just move my notes around so I have everything that I need. So yeah, the town of Hillcross is somewhat out of the way. It's not quite sort of where the major cities are. It's not even along one of the major roads. You kind of have to go out of your way to get there. Uh, the town sits at the base of a hill, and then at the top of the hill there is this what used to be sort of a homestead, but over time has grown and grown and been expanded to become this adventuring academy, and people from all over the world come to study at this adventuring academy. Adventuring is a career path. It's a valid career path. Not everybody's parents would agree with that assessment, but it's a it's a fairly prestigious school. So being able to say that you have graduated from Madame Milani's Adventuring Academy, that's a decent feather in your cap. If you were to go on some quest for a queen in the country or a mayor somewhere, that they would appreciate that you have that credential before they send you out on this quest and promise to give you a bunch of gold. The four of you are first year students at the academy. You have all come from a variety of backgrounds and for a variety of reasons, but you have somehow managed to find yourself in a bit of a clique together. Um, so you take classes together, you study together, you spend downtime together. There's cooking that happens. Uh, you've shared meals, you've shared stories, you've spent some time together, and you're all looking forward to the annual extraplanar field trip, where the teachers take the students out across the cosmos to somewhere cool. Uh, Unfortunately, just before the field trip was due to start, the four of you had a magical mishap, possibly caused
Mm.
by Finland, by something that Finland did. Who knows? Who could say? And that has left you in the medical ward for the last month. You have been more or less unable to leave the medical ward, but today is the first day that you wake up and feel more or less like yourselves. Maybe for the first time in a month. Uh, who among you is the first to wake up? We had a few early risers. It sounds like Cahaldi was an early riser. It sounds like Highland is happy to get up early in the morning to attend a specific class. The whichever the potions class was. What was it? It had a
Mhm.
cool name.
Beneficial
Beneficial
botanicals.
botanicals. Yeah, the uh, the lab. But there are no classes at the moment because nearly all of the teachers and all of the students are not in the school. The school is somewhat abandoned. So who among you wakes up first?
Holly is at least one of the early ones. Happy if other folks contend, but up with the dawn for daily chores.
Mm-hmm.
And that giant constitution might help you.
Alcohol is a creature of discipline, so waking up early is
Mm,
possibly required, whether or not Caholdi enjoys it, but they do it anyway.
yeah. So Cahaldi wakes out of habit and training. And for the first time this day, just kind of upon awakening, checks themselves over carefully to see what their status is, with kind of growing excitement and perhaps a little extra noise in the process, um, potentially accidentally waking others in the hospital area if they're asleep nearby. I I feel good today.
And so you should. It's a beautiful spring day. The windows of the medical ward are open. You can hear
Oh,
birds chirping out in the garden. The there's you even see a little canary fluttering between trees and singing. It's a beautiful time.
thank you, Clyra. Just goes out to look out the window and see the fresh day.
And what does Cahaldi look like? And I guess having spent a month in the medical ward, are they dressed in their own sort of pajamas, or have they got like is there a robe that
Um,
everybody in the medical ward gets, or what's the?
I think there's some default clo robes that are available, but perhaps not so many for those of Cahaldi's size for a full month. And so Cahaldi was, you know, uh, accidentally damaged one of them early on, and it was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. When I'm better, I'll mend it," and offering all this assistance. But by the time a full month had gone by, they couldn't keep up, especially with so many people having traveled. There's not as much perhaps care and support. So they're in their own garment at this point, um, having, damaged a couple of the ones from the hospital.
Mhm. And as Cahaldi moves about, who is the next to wake?
I think is he's moving towards the window. Uh how often do you trip over high?
Uh, I don't think terribly often. Gahaldi has kind of, um, well,
You're
maybe
fairly
occasionally.
agile.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens occasionally. I was going between agility and finesse here, but
Hmm.
yeah, a little bit of a little lighter on their feet than one might expect for being their size. Um,
Yeah, so I think high, trusting in your, ability
mhm.
to watch out for the smaller folks, sort of darts in front
Mm.
of you.
Ah,
And it sounds like the windows are open. Plants her hands on the windowsill, leans halfway out, takes a big sniff, and says, "Was that a canary? Oh, I've got a charm I need a feather for." And I think She's wearing the sort of hospital robes. They're open in the back. And let me know if anyone's not comfortable with this, but I think her butt's out.
Mhm. It's good to see you up, Orthopril.
You too. Uh, I think she's trying out goblinish nicknames for you. And she's got one that's I think goblin nicknames tend to be ironic. She's calling you Small Bean, and it's Grisek.
Gresik.
No.
I like the sound of that. I like it. Thank you for the honorific.
Yeah, honorific.
Is this a case where Highland is trying to find a nickname that will needle Cahaldi and it doesn't work, or are they genuinely just trying to figure out how to navigate this social interaction that they're not entirely sure of?
I think the latter. I think at some level, Highland is sure that Cahaldi is not actually this sincere, and by God, she's gonna get to the bottom of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's a layer of irony in there. It knows it.
Okay, you also asked, was that a canary? Feel free, actually, let's have a roll, just to see how that works.
Of
Uh,
course, roll.
we'll make it an instinct roll,
I think
because
that
you're
makes
really trying
sense.
to look out the window and see if you can catch a look at this canary. And
And I am not going to spend a hope to use one of my experiences, even though I
okay.
think I could finagle, hey, lick this leaf for me, would you? Into it, possibly.
uh, I don't actually remember from the rules, but I have a funny feeling it's always up to player discretion whether or not a. Okay, so we got 13 with fear.
It's a
13 is a
13 with
success.
fear.
Yeah. Can I look? Yes, cool. There is a history in the top right, so I can see it once it goes away. Because I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing my last roll, which is not helpful, but there's a history.
Mhm.
Awesome. So 13 with fear. I will take a fear, bringing me up to 5. And 13 is good enough. You do see that there is just a little yellow canary flitting between the trees. And because this is with fear, you notice that there's something off about the way that it's flying. Like it just doesn't look. It doesn't fly like a canary should fly. It seems to sort of list to one side. It doesn't move as quickly as you would expect a canary to move. I would like to know between Finland and Ilya, which of you is the late riser? Which is going to be the last one to wake up?
I mean, I was thinking Finland's maybe a light sleeper from growing up in the woods.
I mean, I would say Ilya's probably a heavy sleeper because she grew up in a cave. And, you're underground and she wants to go into food service. So come on. How many chefs do you know that get up bright and early unless they're working mornings, right?
There you go. I
No.
like that. Yeah, so I think maybe the movement and conversation gets Finland to fully wake up.
Okay. What is Finland's reaction to waking up and being yourself, perhaps for the first time in weeks?
Yeah. Well, first order of business, because I'm a halfling, everybody gets +1 luck or hope. Everybody gets an extra hope.
Hey.
Um,
I
I
should have.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I should have asked. I saw that Cahaldi has prayer dice that they need to roll at the beginning of a session. If there is
Any
anybody else that
other
has
initial
anything that needs to
stuff?
happen, kind of at the beginning of a session or after a long rest or anything, then now is the time to do that.
Got it.
I don't think anybody else
Um,
has anything.
I think probably because I don't think this is something Cahaldi would notice at all. And then it seemed like maybe Highland was immediately drawn to go talk to Cahaldi and look out the window. So I think Finland is very quick on the uptake that nobody else is here.
Mm.
And he's like, "Ooh, where is everybody?" and is immediately excited.
Okay. And Ilya is the last to wake up, used to sleeping in a cave.
Yes. So I wake up and I'm like I sleep. I'm so used to this that I sleep with a sleep mask and earplugs in because you surfacers like you just like sleep while staring into the sun nearly. It's ridiculous. So I wake up and I'm like I sit up and I like take these out and I slide it up and I look around bleary eyed. And then the first sight I see, the very first, is High's butt.
I was gonna say a tiny green goblin butt.
And I'm
You're
like,
welcome.
and I go, oh, hey, have you been sitting on something like made of corduroy? What is that? I don't want to see that. You have like the upholstery pattern on your butt. Yeah.
Is High at
Wink,
all
wink, wink.
embarrassed about having their butt hang out, or is that just
No, 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 not at all. Uh,
Good.
yeah, I think I just heard her down to this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a weird bird. Oh, morning, Finland.
A
He's
bird.
coming over. He's like listen, like I assume there's like a side room where like the head nurse or somebody. He's already got his ear to it, like listening. Oh hey,
and
I think
you
we're
don't
all
hear
She's
any
alone.
Oh, I should let them know we're awake and I should start my morning chores. Anyone want to
hey,
join me?
Caldy.
Yeah,
Is one of your morning chores making coffee for us?
I can get drinks for everyone. Yeah.
That would be really great. I mean, can you ask your friend to do it? That'd be cool.
The nurse? I mean,
No,
or I can go get it myself.
She means your
the
God.
yeah,
Oh,
I want
oh.
miracle coffee.
Um,
That'd be the best miracle, like right now, coffee.
huh.
Can you turn that water into
Lyra's
coffee?
never done that for me before. Um,
What water to wine? Is that a thing? I mean, I'd rather have
uh,
coffee first. You know what they say.
I mean,
Mm,
generally, I'll like make the morning food and drink, and while I pray, and it comes out pretty good.
okay. Secret ingredient. Okay. His secret ingredient is faith. I like that. Thank you, Caldy.
I'm just
Okay.
envisaging a god of coffee and how good that sounds.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Yeah. Add that to my list of homebrew ideas later.
yes, exactly. Uh, so Finland has noticed that there doesn't seem to be anybody around. They've been listening at the nurse's door, and they don't hear any movement there. But the main door to the medical ward does kind of open, and you hear a loud voice as a person walks in that maybe you would expect. This is the school dean, Crinsel Toyax, who is a Dracona. So they're kind of draconic in form, but more humanoid size. They're probably a little bit taller than the average humanoid. Nowhere near as tall as Caholdi, but probably a good 6.5 feet tall.
We don't have a humanoid for scale amongst our group.
That's true. That's true. So they do tower over the smaller folk, but they're at least a head, if not two, shorter than Caholdi. It's not entirely clear exactly how tall Caholdi is, but it can remain fluid for the moment. And yeah, this person walks in. They carry a sword on their hip, and to the best of your knowledge, they have never drawn it, or at least not in your memory in the school, not in your time in the school. And so they're dressed like a warrior, but they act more like an accountant. They have little tiny round glasses on, and they come in and they go, "Oh, students, it is excellent to see you up and about, and the right color and the right shape, and everyone has the correct number of digits, I see." Uh, and you immediately get the sensation that Crinsel has no idea what to do with students, despite being the dean. Like, they were supposed to have this week to themselves, and they're like, uh, "You've all been through a bit of an ordeal, and right, you should get out and get some sunlight." and I'll give you some money. Yes, and Crinsel will pull from a pouch just a handful of coin for everybody. And on your character sheets, gold is fairly abstract in the game. It's broken down into handfuls, bags, and chests. 10 handfuls makes a bag, 10 bags makes a chest. So you all start with a handful of gold. Grinsel will give each of you a second handful of gold and tell you, you should, yes, go into the town and spend the day, get some sunlight, walk around, get your blood pumping again. Uh, if you would be so kind, it would be beneficial if you could head to Lady D's and see if Arjun is there. Somebody made a bit of a mess in the library, and well, it is his job to clean up the messes that come in the school.
What
What
about?
kind of mess?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Finland. I do want to know what kind of mess, though.
be sure. What about, do we get like automatic A's for because we were incapacitated? So how does that work? Do we just?
Well, the field trip is more of a experiential thing, so it's not really graded. So y- you will all, this will not reflect negatively on your report card. There will, of course, be an investigation into exactly what caused the accident, and if one of you should be found to be at fault, then, well, that might be recorded as a permanent marker on your report, and we can see Finland slowly disappearing, getting shorter and shorter as this happens. But you don't get the impression that Crinsel knows enough about the incident to immediately be able to assign blame.
Dean, is it all right if we get dressed first, or should we go right away?
Uh, well, it is important to represent the school well while you're in town. So, yes, getting dressed would be appropriate.
Thank you. See,
What was the mess? You haven't told us about the mess.
Oh, there's some books scattered around. To be honest, I kind of opened the door, looked in, and then closed the door again because, yes, cleaning up messes is not part of my job description. That's why we have a janitor.
Am I getting the feeling that he's not being completely forthwith and is just trying to get us out of his hair?
Good
Like he's hiding
question.
something.
Let's have a. Uh, this feels like an instinct roll again. Let's have a roll for it.
Instinct. Okay. So I make the modifier and then just do a standard roll? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have something here that would help an experience, I'm not sure that you do.
I thought about trickster, but I'm not gonna push it. I got a 14, so
14 is good, and it's with hope. So take a hope. Bring you up to 4. And yes, you do get the impression that they are being a little bit evasive, and they're not very good at it. As I mentioned before, they don't know how to deal with students. Despite being the dean, they're more comfortable with dealing with the finances of the school, and they would rather be in a different position. But this is the position that Madame Maloney has left them in.
Cahaldi goes to secure their belongings and get into appropriate garb to represent the school.
Okay, so with that, Crinsel, as I said, clearly uncomfortable around students, is like, well, I've done my job, and they walk off to go and find some paperwork to do because that's what makes them the most happy. So
yeah,
from
like as
this
soon as
point,
he's out of the room, I'm like, he was lying about something. We should go to the library.
We
See
should
what
go. I was
happens.
about to say that we gotta go to the library.
Yeah,
High five.
she gets it.
Can we get coffee on the way? Caldy?
Oh,
Uh, Cahaldi is ducked into another room for a costume change. Like,
Um,
coffee
just
on
like
the way.
immediately.
Yes,
Just like
I'll get the
immediately.
coffee while we're on the way. Whoa. Where were we
you
going
know,
again?
I could get coffee.
And then you go to the library, find out what's going in there, uncover filthy secrets, blackmail the school, room and board for life. That's my plan. Maybe we'll see. But in town, he wants us to go to Lady D's. Find Aryan.
Okay. Yeah, what? Yeah, I'm a little foggy headed. Yeah, what it said.
So you do know that Lady D runs a milk bar. You can probably get a caffeinated frothy milk if you would like some kind of uh,
Do they have do they have vegetable milks? You know, like oat milk, almond milk.
absolutely.
Okay, well then maybe we can do it. I'll need to talk to them about where she's sourcing her milks, but okay.
Okay. Cahaldi, in order to get changed, you none of your clothes are present in the medical ward, so you can go back to the dormitories and go back to your room. Everybody has a roommate that isn't present at the moment because they've all gone. So they're shared rooms, but your roommate is off on adventure, as far as you know. You do notice coming into the room. Actually, let's do. I'm wary of just continually getting people to do instinct rolls, but it's actually it's fun to ask Kahaldi to do one because you're terrible at them. So
Cahaldi's no good at this at all. All right. Let's see. Check. -1. Roll them. 13 with hope.
okay, cool. So take a hope, and you do notice maybe not initially when you first walk into the room, but as you're about to walk out, you notice that your bed is rumpled, and there is a faint lavender smell in the air that you
Oh,
don't remember. That's not something of yours that smells like that. And as far as you remember, your roommate doesn't smell like that.
I wonder if they had someone over while well, no, they've been trapped. I don't know.
Mhm.
Okay. It's a mystery. I've got an important mission to represent the school, though. So, costume change and out the door. We'll find the others.
Okay. So the library is on campus. Lady D's is in town. So as a group, once you gather all of your equipment, maybe this is a good moment to uh, get a physical description of what your character looks like. Madame Milani has drilled into all of you repeatedly that you don't leave the school without your weapons. You don't leave the school without your armor. It's important that you are ready for adventure, even if you're not yet an adventurer in her eyes. So, what do you all look like as you come together, and then where do you go from there?
Uh, Cahaldi is a broad-shouldered, towering figure, wearing chainmail armor with a great sword, um, quick at hand, and you know, uh, some kind of something representing the school on over their chainmail little tabard or something with proper representation is important, and
Hmm.
bags for their gold for spending, and quickly prepared in proper form to represent the school.
And going around the character keeper, Finland. What does Finland look like now that you're dressed for adventure?
Rest for adventure. So Finland has a big well, I don't know, halfling size staff, I guess. Um, and then just some very light, flexible, mobile armor. I did find some kind of silly art that I put off to the right there. Uh,
Nice.
Mm.
I picture more of like I think probably more like like a hooded cloak with a brooch or something along those lines, and probably not any weapons at his feet, but definitely barefoot halfling. Got to have that, and definitely like the wild kind of manic mad scientist hair. Um, Probably a crazy color. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is Finland repping the school in some way, shape, or form, or is that not something that they're interested in?
If it's not required, I'm not wearing
It was a
it.
recommendation, not a requirement. Okay, cool. Ilya, what does Ilya look like dressed for adventure?
Oh, so she's wearing she has like a stiff, slightly padded tunic. You know, it's a gambeson. But it looks like kind of a fashionable shirt. Rather utilitarian, but nice. Kind of some capri pants, so to speak, but with this kind of like thick canvasy material that can kind of serve as light armor. Her wings are look like dragonfly wings, right? So she has like two pairs, like four wings that are kind of iridescent, translucent. And she has some blades, one on each hip, long and short, and they'll pack over her shoulder. And but whenever she's finally able to get it, she has like like almost as big as her torso mug of coffee, and that's just the medium, the regular human size large. It comes in
Okay, yeah.
pints, that sort of thing.
I was going to ask you, he's fairy can go a number of different directions. Are you roughly the same size as Highland and Finland, who are small creatures, or are you smaller than that?
I mean, let's go a little bit smaller. So like
Okay.
I'm like shoulder height to them maybe, and like very delicate feature.
Hmm.
And not I don't just look like a human girl that's small with wings. I'm like look very fey. So like blue skin and pointy ears and like kind of cat eye looking eyes and a little bit alien.
Cool. And you mentioned the clothing being fairly fashionable. Is that something that you brought with you from home, or is that something that you've acquired? Have you reinvented yourself coming to university,
Yeah.
or is this?
Yeah. So like I'd say that it is if you look carefully, you can see where I've removed like the like company name patch that I used to have to wear on this like work vest. But that's not stylish to look like somebody's employee. So I removed it with some slight needlework. And so yeah, it's like a canvas vest. I look kind of like it looks more like I don't know, like LLB in fashion. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
that's utilitarian, but stylish.
Cool. So there is the reason why I ask, there is a clothier in town, a fungal by the name of Stryle Coral Spike, and they run a business called
Ooh,
Indigo Threads. So it might be one of those shops that you occasionally pause in front of just to get a feel for
mhm.
like, oh, I wonder what I would look like in that.
Yeah.
Uh, Highland, dress for adventure,
Yeah,
presumably
I think
butt covered at this point, but that's up to
yes,
you.
yes, thoroughly covered. Um, I think Hai is here as a scholarship student, so this is the absolute most stereotypical druid equipment. It's leather armor. There are ivy leaves on it. I think it's fantasy renaissance sort of blousy shirt underneath it, bandolier of little jars and bottles full of various things, like a gathering pouch at her hip, short staff that she swings that sort of with mystical energies, round shield on her back, and she looks every inch the proper young druid. And I think she rather ruins the effect by blowing a big bubblegum bubble that pops. And she sort of like um, goes back to chewing and says, all right, we go to the library?
And with that, we'll take our final break of the session, and then we'll come back At 10 past, we will go and check out the library and we'll see how things progress. Alrighty, so we're back from our break. I just let everybody know that my power might go out, so if this recording ends suddenly, that's probably what happened. Failing that, if I manage to retain power for the rest of the session, probably will go through the library and then wrap up for the day and do a round of stars and wishes. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. So the group has come together. You've made the decision. You're going to check out the library. Something is fishy. Grinsel was hiding something from you. Noticed there's a mess in the library. That seems odd, given that there should be no one here at the school, other than, to the best of your knowledge, you and Grinsel. Cahaldi has seen some evidence that maybe someone else has been sleeping in their bed. But we will see how things develop as you go. So as you make your way through the school, as I mentioned before, it started as a homestead and has been extended and expanded upon. So there are different types of architecture as you move through the halls. It is quite a big space and it feels bigger because there's nobody here. Normally these halls are teeming with students and there's all sorts of noise and ruckus going on. Even when class is in session, walking down the corridors, you can kind of hear the chatter from different classrooms as you go. And at the moment, it is dead silent. You come to the library, which is a very large hall, but it's behind two very big double doors. And when you arrive, the door has been key locked, something that you don't remember happening in your entire time at the school, which, to be fair, has been less than a year. But it's unusual. Normally, Madame Maloney would like students to have access to books. Learning is important, knowledge is important. And today, you don't have access to the library. What do you do?
Oh, I always have access to the library. Just give me a minute. And Finland.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Are there any windows open up high or at least unlocked? I could fly up and check maybe from the outdoors.
Yeah, so the corridor that you're in has windows along it, and you can fly outside to come back at the library from the outside. And Ilya, you notice straight away that one of the windows is open and the curtains are kind of blowing in the breeze.
I point that out and say, well, Finn, while you're doing that, maybe I'll take a peek outside.
Sure, so.
Then I take like 2 or 3 steps and jump, and the wings engage, and
Are the Ilya's wings always present, or is this they kind of manifest when you choose to fly?
Oh, I think they fold in, back. They're not magical wings. They're just plain old-fashioned fairy wings. I'm a basic fairy. Mm. So yeah, they fold in just like a bird's wings do, and but these are on my back, and then they whoop pop up as I jump.
Okay.
And then I buzz on out and look around first, and then I look for a library window to peer into.
Yeah, so you do find a one of the library windows on the ground floor is open. And that is also unusual. Normally, in order to sort of
Ooh.
keep the books protected, the windows are kept closed. So even though maybe this building was not originally designed as a library, but it's been reused for that. And inside you can see, just looking through the window, and as the curtain sort of flaps in the breeze, you can see there are books scattered all over the floor in like big piles. And they're not just like people have taken them off the shelves and put them on the floor. It looks like they've actually sort of splayed open and been dropped haphazardly around the place. Um, as you're looking in the window, Finland, how are you attempting to get into the library?
I'm gonna pick the lock.
Okay.
I know how to get in places people don't want me to get into. Because I
Picking a lock.
have pick and pull.
Cool. So picking a lock is a finesse roll. It would be a tinker kind of end of the finesse roll. And what
That
does
makes
pick and pull
sense.
do? This is one of your domain cards from the shadow domain. Right?
It gives me advantage on action rolls to pick non-magical locks, disarm non-magical traps, or steal items.
Dang.
Sleight of hand and stuff. And then just because, well, you know what? I've already got 4 of 6 hope. So yeah, I'll spend a hope to use my trickster experience because that feels like fully within that wheelhouse of getting into places I shouldn't be.
Hmm.
So
It's
that's
is this something that Finland's learned on their own, or did somebody teach them how to pick locks?
it's definitely something he learned on his own because I don't think living in the forest, I don't I don't think
There
we
weren't a
had
lot of
locked
locks.
doors. Yeah,
No, didn't have doors, let
definitely.
alone locks.
Yeah, we had, hide, whatever. Okay, so +3 with advantage, I guess.
Hmm.
Ooh, well, still got a 13. Thank you, advantage.
Yeah. So the did it roll with advantage? It's hard
Yeah,
to tell
it
from
added
the.
a d6.
Yeah, cool. So I was going to mention that the way that advantage and disadvantage works is it adds a d6 to your roll, um, but you still checking to see which die ended up higher. So in this case, 13 with hope is good enough to get through this lock and make sure that you take your hope back for doing that. So does Finland have just like lock picks? How do they pick a lock?
Um, yeah, I think he's got maybe kind of semi included with his basic supplies in his inventory. I think some like very improvised uh tools because again he's very self-taught.
Hmm.
Yeah. So maybe some little like taking some silverware from the cafeteria and like shivved it down and
And with a
yeah.
sharp with a sharp click, you manage to get the door unlocked and it swings
Ah,
open.
Wow, it's really good we have you here. The dean forgot to give us the key, but clearly he knew we'd get in.
I think so. You should go first.
Okay.
Uh, it's too late. Hi has already darted through the moment the door was open.
Okay.
I think just managed not to chortle on her way.
Yeah. And Ilya, as you were coming in through the window on the other side, are you did you come all the way into the library? Are they when the door opens and Highland runs in, do they run
Yeah.
into Ilya, or are you waiting on the outside to see what happens? Or
No, I would imagine it just kind of happened around the same time. I look in, I hear the door getting like unlocked, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna come in. And so I kind of like fly in. I'm hovering there 5 feet off the ground, and then I see High come bolting in right as the door opens, almost as if they just knock the door open
Mhm.
and come sprinting in. And then I'm just looking around like, somebody dumped all the books on the floor. That's
Oh,
rude.
So
yeah, this is quite the mess.
interestingly enough, as you look, the it is not all of the books. So there are long shelves in this library uh, that house all of the books, and there are still quite a few books on the shelves. It is just that some subset at random, seemingly somebody would pull 2 books and then leave 2 books and then take another book. So it's not like entire shelves have been dumped on the floor. It looks more random than that. And you do notice a couple of other things in the room. Ilya, as you're flying around, you hear what sounds like a flutter of wings somewhere deeper into the library amongst the shelves. There is something else in here, you believe.
Hmm. Sounds, gosh, I think there's something else in here. And looking at this mess, I hear little wings. Might be pixies. They're the worst. Actually, no, Nixies, they're the worst. Pixies are second worst. So just be careful. Did anyone bring, I mean, it's an old wives' tale. It's an old parent. That's a sexist claim. It's an old tale. Why do old wives tell the tales? Anyway, it's an old tale that they are attracted to honey. Does anyone have any honey? That might not be
Uh,
true though.
I think as Ilya is uh waxing poetic, I suppose. I don't know. Um
I would have gone
Hi.
with rambling, but that works too.
Fair enough. Um Hi, hearing you say that there is something with wings, will dart past you, and as it does, something that you're all very familiar with, um, with a sort of horrific anamorphy, kind of intermediate stage and bone crunching, etc. Turns into a cat and begins hopping from shelf to shelf, higher into the up. She's going up. She wants to find out what these wings are. And I think she'll just like hop by you and as she looks down at Ilya says, "Well, you coming?" And I will mark a stress for that. She is a household friend.
I look down and I'm like, oh, it's hi, cat. See what I did there? Hi.
Hi, as you transform into a cat, your senses change, and your sense of smell gets stronger, your eyesight gets stronger, and immediately coming to your attention, there is definitely something fluttering between the shelves somewhere in the dark end of the library, but also you get a very strong smell. That I'm not sure how a cat would experience lavender, but it is a very strong and pungent smell that is preventing you from being able to tell what this thing is that's flying around. You can't smell it.
Yeah, it
Uh,
sneezes.
Also, I was going to ask, because Elia brought up honey, does anybody have honey in their coffee?
No, I'm not a savage. Of course not. I drink it black.
Okay, as whatever the god of coffee intended. Cahaldi, as the door has swung open, everybody else has kind of leapt past you to get into the room. The floor is strewn with books. How are you navigating this space? How is Cahaldi reacting to
Oh,
this?
well, this is quite the mess. Just kind of very carefully kind of walking around looking, you know, looking about, but not charging ahead or anything. Sticking near Finland, actually, just in case.
Which is great because in my head I was just about to say Finland's probably trying to like stay low and walk quietly towards this fluttering sound. So however well that's going to go.
Uh, another moment or two, and Galhaldi's like, "Hello, is there anyone in here? The dean asked us to come check things out."
Okay. I feel like this calls for a presence roll from Cahaldi.
Sure. Um,
Also, does is Cahaldi lying on purpose, or is that how she interpreted our conversation?
Oh, I I feel like it was a complete misunderstanding.
Yeah,
Right.
I think this was, well, we were going to find out what was going on and clean up the mess. Of course, someone needs help cleaning it up.
Uh,
There's someone here. They're probably cleaning it up. I mean, we're at a school. It's not like anything dangerous is happening here. So I'm gonna use the trustworthy face experience to add to this presence roll. Spend a hope.
mhm.
And uh, so let's roll it.
Oh, 22 with fear.
Yeah,
Make
I've
of
got
that
fear.
what you will.
So you call out into this space. It is a large room, so and Cahaldi's voice echoes, I imagine, quite strongly, as they have a large
Hmm.
presence and a loud booming voice. and you don't get a response, but the thing starts to fly towards you, and you're squinting at it, trying to figure out, is that a bat? Or is it a Nixie? You're maybe not even sure what a Nixie looks like.
Yeah.
And as it slams into you, you realize it's a book, and the cover is open, and the cover is flapping, and the pages are sort of hanging down underneath as it kind of flies through the air towards you and smacks into your chest.
Oh.
And it appears to be continuing to flutter and move. It seems to be trying to get past you, but Kahaldi is big enough that it's having difficulty. How does everyone else react to this? And how does Kahaldi react to this? I guess.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Oh, uh, uh,
It seems
try
like
to grab the book and
Caldy's-
close it. What do you do? It's open. It needs to be closed carefully, so as to not damage any pages.
There's a finesse roll.
Can High help by jumping onto Caldy's shoulder and batting at the book?
Can just trying to look for the help thing is not in this quick guide. I think it's got something to do with spending hope, right?
Add an advantage die based on the text of
It's
this
down
piece
lower.
form.
Yeah.
Hmm?
When you help an ally, explain how you're aiding them. So you need to spend a hope to do it, and then you explain how you're aiding them and roll they roll a d6 advantage die.
All right. Yeah, so there's as Caldy's trying to like capture this book, you hear and I can speak. She's just using cat sounds because it amuses her. And she's going to jump on your shoulder and brace herself and like cat bat with her paw. And because she is currently a household friend, you get a D8 instead of a D6.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know that the die
Also
roller
gives
knows
away
how
the
to
cheat.
handle that.
Yeah.
So
Maybe I roll a standard and then roll a damage D8, and we'll add that in
sure.
instead.
Oh, there you go.
Effectively, I think that works. So standard roll here would be 15 with hope, plus the 1d8 of 6 more, so 21 with hope.
That's he's easily managed to get this book closed, and even once you've got it closed, it still seems to be trying to flap and get away from you.
Caldy is just kind of looking around confused.
Don't look at me. I don't have thumbs.
She is a cat, yeah. I
Ilya.
guess, yeah. So, yeah, Ilya will fly over and be like, what do you... So, well, Ilya approaches, sees Kahaldi fighting with this book, and doesn't offer to help. Instead, she's like, well, what book is it? What is it? Let me see. Stop moving it around so much. Trying to
I'm
read this
trying.
fine. Is it just like random book, or is it something that looks like
It's
an unusual book?
it's not an unusual book. It's a dry and dusty treatise on the history of the local region.
That's a history book. Put it in the history
And
section. Come on, you should know better than this.
and you
Okay.
Make sure you report it now. You got to put it in the right space. Or is there a returns bin? Maybe we should put it in there.
That might be good. I don't know where it goes.
Probably the circulation desk has one. Come on.
can get
Finland, is this magic? I mean, obviously it's magic. You're taking classes in this.
I think Finland's already using the distraction to try to find the source of the
Yeah,
chicanery.
Ilya, because
Like you
Finland's
turn
taking
around to look for
classes on flying books. That's amazing. They have everything here.
Yeah, I think when Highland turns to like call out to Finland, he's not where he was. He's like, ooh, distraction. And gonna go deeper in.
All right, I'll come back to Phil in a minute. If somebody wants to make a knowledge roll to figure out the best place to return a history book, uh, anyone can make the roll other than obviously Finland, who's engaged elsewhere. But the three of you are dealing with this book. So, hi, Ilya Kahaldi. This is potentially an opportunity to gain some hope.
Well, Hi is rocking at a hot -1 knowledge.
I mean, I'll do
So
it. Kahaldi is
Uh,
holding the book. Ilya is barking orders for no good
all
reason. So
right.
she
Okay,
doesn't
I'll
good.
take it.
Yeah, I'm not saying she gives good advice, but she'll give advice.
All right. And Cahaldi will, follow it and just be guided by their faith,
All right,
Mhm.
which
14
is
with
an
hope.
experience.
14 with hope is sufficient. Where is the
And I
best
got hope.
place to return a history book?
Um, I think, yeah, no, I think there's a book drop at the circulation desk in the center. Like I'm imagining like a big desk, circular desk space in the middle of the floor, and
Hmm.
there's like a book drop. You can put it in there. Go, we'll put it in the book drop right over there.
Okay.
Are there like two different book drops where there's like normal books and like because there's probably I mean
Flying
throw
books?
the throw the magical books in this one.
No, I don't know. I only rolled a 14, so I'm like, I don't know, over there. Put it in there. Drop it in
Okay.
the slot. Hopefully it can't get out.
Cahaldi tries shoving it in and then kind of just leans against the hole for a little while to see if it is going to try to get back out.
So for
Hi.
him,
Block it with their body.
go high.
Got a click. I think while this is happening, Hi is still, braced. I think, her claws are out a little bit. Sorry. You're rustling. And is sniffing. I think she's doing that thing that cats do where they open their mouths a little bit. Does the book itself smell like lavender? Would you like me to roll for this?
Um, yeah, go on. Make an instinct roll for this,
All right. It's just
or
a kitty cat.
or a knowledge roll because it's analyzed. But I feel like this is more perceive and sense than it is analyze and recall.
Uh, that is a 19 with hope. Oh, the
Okay,
green is hope.
everyone's rolling with hope. Uh,
Yeah.
Nice.
okay, so you do detect faint hints of lavender, but it is not the source of the lavender smell in this room by any means. It smells like lavender because everything in here smells like lavender, not because it particularly smells like lavender.
Yeah. I think as you're struggling to put it in the book drop, Caldy is like, "Come on, that's not the real interesting thing in here. It smells boring."
And
Oh,
Aldi, as you manage to drop the book into the slot, you think for a moment you get the impression that it's still fluttering around in there, but after a heartbeat or two, you realize that's just adrenaline. Uh,
oh.
it seems like when the book went into the slot, it just stopped. It just stopped moving altogether.
Hey, it worked. It stopped. That's great.
Okay. And Finland,
See?
what were you looking for? You were
Yes.
looking for something.
I'm trying to figure out where this is coming from because we heard there's fluttering, something is making the books fly, so that's what I'm trying to find. And as a sorcerer, I can sense the presence of magical people. So
Okay. So that's just automatic, right? You can do that.
yeah, it does say close range. I don't really know how far what the range bands really equate to, but
I would say, as you've kind of snuck off and wandered through the library, you're able to get up and down the shelves. You don't see any other flying books fluttering around the place, and you don't
Mhm.
get a strong sense of another magical being in this space. But also, the book wasn't giving you a magical being sense, or if it was like the faintest, like it was definitely not something of sentience. You don't get the impression, but you
in that case, oh, go ahead.
Can you make me a knowledge roll to kind of analyze the state of the library and think about the last time you were in the library and just to potentially notice that there is a discrepancy here.
13. Oh,
13 is enough. You do find there are ordinarily at the end of each of there's two long shelves that run down the middle of this library, and then there's shelves on the walls. The two long shelves that run down the middle of the library, ordinarily facing the windows, there are two large statues that have been carved of previous, maybe the first successful adventurers to graduate from the academy. Neither of those statues are here.
man, I was thinking about stealing those for a senior prank. Somebody beat me to it.
They would be extraordinarily heavy. They're made of stone
Yeah,
and they are Caholdi sized.
sure. Like I think at that point, like I'll call out, be like, y'all don't see any walking statues anywhere. The, the statues are missing. That's weird. Anybody see
Yeah.
statues?
Ilya wanna go look. He's like, what?
Oh,
Zzz.
I
Where
think Hai will sort of float in and be like, Cahaldi, you let Finland wander off.
uh, I heard that voice down there. I'm headed that way.
yeah. Ilya, where are you looking? Are you just doing a quick sweep of the library? What's the
I
search
think
pattern here?
so I think she's going to immediately, so I'm imagining this, correct me if I'm wrong, as like one large room with stacks. So that if I
Mhm.
were to fly to the roof of the ceiling, I could look down and get a kind of a nice overview of the space, as opposed to like a more labyrinthine, I have to go down passages and tunnels to get to other, you know, in the stacks. I don't know what the visual is here. But so she spirals up if she's got this high ceiling here and kind of surveys from above. And if there's places she can't see, like blind spots behind stacks, she'll go deep into the building. But she's staying up high, just peeking around.
No, I can I
I don't
can
see
I
any
can give it to you.
statues.
The
Okay.
um the the room does have a very high ceiling, and maybe it's sort of open rafter, so it gets to a
Hmm.
point where it becomes impractical to make the shelves taller because they'd start to hit the roof. So there is space kind of among the rafters where you can go and sort of hang out and look down over the entire library, and you can see most of the room in theory because of the shelves. There's spots that you can't quite make out, but you do notice looking down something peculiar, which is there appears to be books scattered amongst the shelves and around the shelves, but between the shelves and the windows, there's two very clear parts from where the statues were to where the window is that appear to contain no books on the floor.
Okay.
And that's
So yeah, and the window was open, right? The one that was previously open that I found as open, correct? Was it that
so
window that I see this path to?
it is the window that you came through. And going down and taking a look, you realize the window is not open, it's broken.
Mm.
And that's where we'll end the session for the week.
Dun dun
Mm,
dun.
fun.
All right. Cool. Thank you everybody for playing and for indulging my desire to get Daggerheart to the table. I hope everybody's having a good time. And we do a quick round of stars and wishes, and then we've got one more session of this, and we can try and resolve the mystery of what happened in the library. Who would like to go first from a stars and wishes perspective? Something you liked, something that you want to highlight, something that you want for next week.
I want to start. Well, everyone was great. I really enjoyed this. Let me say specifics. Vito, I loved Cahaldi's like gentle giant vibe. You know what I mean? The kind of like, Yeah, he's the kind of person that like you want as your friend,
Mhm.
and but probably would be fearsome when they get angry. And Jeremiah Finn, I loved Finn's just like in a way like kind of like classic little sorcerer who's going to blow things up and cause chaos. Like this is the person who's going to, the classic like I didn't ask how big the room is. I said I cast fireball, that sort of vibe. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's fun. I like that. I love that. I sometimes play that kind of character, as
Mhm.
some of you might know who played with me before. High is well, how much fun is this strange little goblin druid? I mean, just from like, I mean, in a way, it's like, like what I love best about playing goblins is they just are like they're goblins. They don't really either know about or care about their butts hanging out. Animals are probably more interesting to them than people. I mean, it's perfect. I love High already. And Mike, I mean, given that you say you have never run this before, smooth as silk, felt great. I didn't feel like, because I mean, I've played this several times, and the first time or two, I definitely had to like, what? How does this work? What? Right? Armor? What? So like, I didn't feel that way. And so this was very smooth, and it's a fun setting. I wanna play in it some more. So thank you for everyone there. Wishes are, um, I mean, yeah, we should do some combat just because that's like what the game is mostly built to do, like D&D is, unfortunately. But I would love to see, yeah, just more of our. I want to get more opportunities for our characters to have be goofy, eccentric weirdos together, which is my jam. So thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to go next?
Yep. I like that. I felt like everybody as a group did a really good job of like having a really fun mix of the light-hearted young adult stuff, but like there's also some fun, real connection stuff and backstory. So I think everybody found a
Mhm.
really satisfying mix uh, for all of that. Like this sort of game should be like a game like this probably isn't ever going to work if it's 100% serious. So
Mm.
and yeah, I mean it's kind of a similar wish to Gwen, but it's the first half of a session of real mechanics. But I'm looking forward to just seeing more of the mechanics and how they interact. Like here's a wish. Maybe we'll roll some fear next week. We can get some more of the fear economy kind of kicking off, just so we
I mean,
can see
so
a little more of it.
I do have 5 fear out of 12, so it'll
There
come up.
you go. So we've got some. Nice.
Give us opportunities to load you up first.
Hooray.
Hmm.
I tried.
Um, I'll go ahead and just chime in and like there's a lot of good stuff that's already been said here. I'd like to echo a lot of it. I think the dynamics between the characters that we came up with is just particularly solid. It makes me feel like there's real interesting connections to draw on and draw from. And I've already seen it come up several times, yeah, in ways that really, let us hit the ground running in great ways. So just kudos everyone buying into it and going with it. It makes for a great experience. Um, I just want to see where it's going. I don't have much else to add. Like, just yeah, interesting, yeah, fun setting, interesting materials, and we will see what hijinks ensue. Looking forward to
What a coincidence. Hijinks are also amongst my wishes.
it.
Uh, yeah, I really enjoyed this. First of all, enormous shout out to Mike for building this character keeper. When I ran it, I thought about it for 2 seconds and was like, nope, that would be too hard. But I think it worked really well. And I think having the images for the cards in particular, and then like slots to put them in, um, I would not have thought of, and I think it works really nicely. because I honestly I've also ran this on Roll20, and I think that this is easier as a character as a player to keep an eye on everything. So, uh, huge shout out. Thank you. I appreciate how much work it was.
It
Um,
was
I
panic built mostly yesterday, so I'm glad it worked.
it did. I think it was very smooth. Um, I really I appreciate Vito you giving us Cahaldi as a straight man. Not that I think they're
Yeah.
a man, right? Uh, and then leaning into it. I think the moment in the library where you were like, "Hello, is anyone in here?" After all of your like sneaky friends have like darted off into the distance, was absolutely perfect. Um, I enjoyed the Ilya pest control background, and then also
Mm.
looping that into the skunk rescue. I think that's an interesting. Um, yeah, I'm interested to talk about that thread a little bit more, and I don't know, maybe see how. I mean, I think our clique probably no one gives a shit about it, but maybe people in the town how they might react to that. I think
Mm.
would be cool. Um, really enjoying Finn and what's my character's name? Highs. Vibe. I think it really they really clicked. And also the little detail that your whispering sphere is like a magic 8 ball.
Mm.
I think really hit the tone that we were going for, and provide some nice momentum. Uh, yeah, I had a great time. Wishes, absolute. I'm ready for chaos. I'm ready for hijinks. I'm ready for havoc to be wrought in this poor college town. Um, Also, Mike, I want to see how you use fear outside of combat because that's something I don't know if I was doing right. So when you do it, could you just like highlight it so that
Mm.
I know for mechanical reasons?
Yeah, I mean, the rules are one of the main complaints I've heard about Daggerheart is to do with the meta currency and the fact that fear seems somewhat unnecessary. And I suspect
Mm,
that's true because the GM can pretty much, in any game, a facilitator can always just shift the
Yeah.
story and change directions and do
Hmm.
whatever. And fear is kind of it's a scaffolding to help people that aren't used
Hmm.
to dealing with that more than anything else. So outside of combat, I see it being hey, if I want to make a GM move and you're all rolling with hope all the time, I can just spend fear and do it. But by the same token, if I just sit and wait long enough, you'll all run out of steam and then look to me to go, what happens next? And then I can just do a GM move. So it's
Hmm.
really a way of short circuiting that. Like if the players are having a chat backwards and forwards and I'm thinking like the story needs to move, I can throw a fear token at you and say, this is happening now. But in theory, I could do that anyway. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
um yeah, thank you everybody. This was fantastic. The original tone of this adventure, because it was a D&D kind of one shot that I put together, was more high fantasy, and it didn't actually start with a magical academy. It's kind of you shifted and morphed and changed. The I'm particularly enjoying the anachronistic fantasy setting, so being able to bring in some modern vibes, and I liked that. Hi, you introduced cars into the setting, which was something that I never really envisaged. But the idea that there are people driving around in this world, that's a thing that now exists and is in the world, and it's cool and interesting. Ilya bringing in sort of coffee and more modern fashion choices, that was awesome. Yeah, Finland's Magic 8 Ball, and I really like the touch of Cahaldi's little statues and the idea of doing like almost like a Pokemon trading system, and that being part of the faith of carrying things between the different temples and trading them out. And that's just it's a beautiful little touch to add on to a religion that I wish there were more religions like that in the real world. At least
Hmm.
more societies like that in the real world that work that way. I think that's nice. Yeah, so far the setting seems to be working okay. Trying to figure out when I should be calling for roles based on what I know is happening in the world versus when you're actively trying to do something. I'm still trying to figure out that balance, figuring out kind of how that hope and fear meta currency is working. Uh, I think in terms of wishes, will there be chances for hijinks and a chance to resolve the mystery? Yes, absolutely. I kind of hoping that we can get through the mystery, and we might have to short circuit some things next week based on how far we got in this session. But that's fine. We've got 4 hours next week. The ability for characters to be goofy and eccentric weirdos, absolutely. That's it is it's a fun setting with lots of places for you to let your freak flag fly. So hopefully we can see some of that. Combat already on the cards. There is opportunities for combat coming up at some point. Yeah, other than that, thank you all so much for giving up your evening. I'm guessing for most of you, it's my almost midday because I'm geographically challenged. And unless there's anything else, I look forward to seeing you all next week for the thrilling conclusion of extracurricular activities.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you for running, Mike.
Yeah,
Yep.
thanks a lot.
Have a good week.
See y'all next week.
See you, bye.
Bye bye.